All right, I think we're ready to go, bro.
Yeah.
I think we're ready.
Hey,
to
when you out of here for good, bro?
So tomorrow, I am coming straight from work. Starting to pack it all. Friday, I'm going to pull this down. Saturday, I've got the removalist. Sunday, I take whatever's left to the tip. And I don't come back from Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm
good,
fucking
bro.
close, bro. You have so much to take to the tip.
You got it all figured out? How you gonna set it up? The podcast.
I'm going to take this just for now. But then I've sat in there and I envisioned it, bro.
Yeah. What kind of couches are you gonna have?
Smaller, 2-seaters, not as long, not as deep. Maybe like so you can sit up kind of straight the whole time instead of just like we are.
Bro, this is way too comfortable for a podcast, bro. Like, I'm sinking in. Like, I can't sit up.
Yeah, but you don't want to either. Eh?
Nah, it's nice. It'd be better to watch a movie like this, but...
Yeah. It's nice to sleep on.
All right, people, welcome back to another episode of the Doxcast. This is Swapcast number what?
16, episode 160.
Nice. All right, he's made it this far. Jake Doxie, mate. We're going to try and get to know him a little bit better and connect him more to the audience. How the bloody hell have you managed to keep it going 160 weeks straight?
Well, I'll start by saying I couldn't ask anyone more to do episode 160 with. Truthfully and honestly. To know this is honestly the last episode that's ever going to get filmed in this house. I'm so glad that it's you that's doing it with me. All right, I'll say that.
Thank you.
And how have I made it to episode 160? I would say the easiest answer to that question, bro, is it's so much fun. It's so much fun. It's mad stressful sometimes, don't get me wrong. Like, it's like, fuck, who am I going to get on? Fuck, I've got like 12 hours before the episode comes out. But that's fun, bro. It's problem solving, high level problem solving. Because
Yeah, bro.
at the end of it...
You love to talk to people, so...
Yeah.
And making new friends. That's your favourite thing.
Yeah, making new friends. But on top of that, bro, it's not just high level problem solving. It's like when you actually get the episode done and put out there, you know what it's like making music as well. Like the feeling of a finished song that you're happy with. You've taken multiple takes. You've had to fucking go back and maybe adjust some sound and delete some parts, lower some things, this is that.
To put it simply, yeah.
Yeah. But the final product, not only is it something you're proud of, it's almost like mission passed. You know what I mean? You put all this effort in, bro, you know? And
but do you find that you're not satisfied no matter how good it is? You're just not satisfied with your own work? Do you feel like that?
Yeah. It's never... Nothing's
it's not good enough.
Yeah.
Like, if it's coming from you, it's never good enough. But if it's from somebody else, fuck, that's mad.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like... I don't know what that is, though. That's a good point, because it's like...
Actually, I think I know what that is. It's self-mastery.
Yeah. But what I mean is, like, I don't know where it comes from. I think where it comes from is just the greats that we look up to as inspiration. Like, say, for example, yesterday, the Sam Sulek episode, one of the first ever big mainstream podcasts came out with Sam Sulek on Chris Williamson's channel. And as soon as I seen it, I was like, yes, bro, Sam Sulek, bro, you know, because Chris can make a mad conversation. And I'm just watching it thinking like, bro, my level ain't that good, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, no matter what I'm going to put out now, I'm always going to look at those people's channels and go, it's not good enough.
Comparison is the kill of joy.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah. But, here, take this.
What's that?
It's stressful for over there.
Straight out.
But it's like, I don't know, bro. Even though I'm not happy with it in a sense where it's like I'm not 100% satisfied with the end result as in perfection, I still walk away from every single episode with a 100% victory. I feel accomplished. I feel like I've done it. Like, fuck yeah. Even if it was a bad conversation, which I've had at least two of them.
Do you feel proud of yourself, what you've done and how far you've come in 160 weeks?
Do I feel proud of myself what I've done in 160 weeks? I don't know if I am proud of what I've done. But however, I do notice the improvements. You know, I do notice.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Because I've seen it unfold in real time, bro. And I remember when you were just chatting bullshit, like, I'm going to do a podcast. Mm-hmm. And it was talk for a long time on it.
It was. It was probably talk for, realistically, 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, eh?
Even, like, when you were contemplating it a bit more, and thinking about starting it, you know, jumping into it. And we did it on my music mic, bro. That little shit.
Wow.
That little shit microphone. You remember? I think I still got the recording, bro.
We did too, bro. But that was when I was upstairs and I had like the glass table instead of the one.
Yeah.
And it was like the most uncomfortable room. Like everything was like super.
We were sitting on beanbags.
Yeah, were we? Wow.
But we sat like that for about hour and a half.
Yeah.
And then we done another practice take in your room upstairs. How many practice takes have I done here, bro?
Bro.
I've done way too many
Sorry,
practice takes.
yeah.
I think, how many times have I been on this podcast, bro?
Episodes out, I'd say you've done at least, this would be at least your 5th, if not 6th, being on the pod.
I've done double that in
Practice runs,
in takes, bro.
Because the first one we did, like that
and
was
the
like
cameras
what?
weren't on, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we did at least 4 before the episode came out, not including the one that we did on your laptop. No, I'd say that would be included in that. So let's just call it like 4 practice. Then we've done, even though episode 100, you're on for episode 100, that never came out. That group one with everyone. You know what the shame was? For that episode 100, for that particular day, you know how I did it for like 6-7 days straight? I had like different groups coming on every single day. That day in particular was my favorite day out of all of them. It was you, Kelvin, Hugo, and myself. And then was Damo here too?
Yeah, I think so.
Damo was here too because we had to kind of share microphones and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. That was my favorite day out of all the days because we just had such a fucking not intellectual conversation, but we just talked about what we want and how we're going to get there, you know?
Yeah.
It was fucking fun, bro. I love that
It was a good
kind of shit.
dreamer conversation.
Yeah, dreamer. That's a good word for it. It was dreamer. Yeah. Can't remember the original question, bro, but how have I done it? I'm thanking you for being proud of me. I've done it because it's fun. I love the challenge. I have to do it. If I don't do it, someone else will, and I'm not letting some other 26-year-old fucking gun out there like get a better podcast than me, bro.
Look, there's got to be winners and losers, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
So if you're winning, somebody's got to lose, and if you're losing, somebody else got to win, bro.
Plus, it's like I like knowing inevitably, based on the statistics of watching the channels and grow and shit like that. Inevitably, over enough time, it's like it's going to become successful. Inevitably, it's
I
actually
think you're
impossible.
already, getting in there slowly. But I think you're working your way up real well, bro.
Thank you. But for now, it still feels like a fucking bedroom fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like, I got goals of having employees, and I had a mad idea the other day. Tell me if this is a mad idea. I want to get, as soon as I can, obviously get the budget for it. You know, whether it be first few sponsors come on or not. Instead of making my life easier, I was thinking about first hiring people. But I'm thinking about not eliminating any of the own work that I have to do. Keep the same amount of hours of input, but then just find extra things to add on top of it. And I'm thinking one really cool thing would be having someone that comes over for every episode and they stand right there the entire time. They might take a few photos, but most importantly, they have a fucking board in front of them.
Photographer.
And they draw a picture of us.
Yeah, true.
Imagine a professional painter that comes over, bro. Just pay someone who is good with their craft $200 just for showing up. $200, $100 an hour, you know, not that much money, bro. And they can draw my guest a picture of us sitting here together. Imagine if we left today, bro. What's better than a picture? A fucking drawing. You know what I mean? That would be cool to give you.
Yeah, straight out.
So it's something I'm definitely going to do in the future. Shit like that. But shit like that won't happen, bro, if I'm not at least at episode 160. I've got to be at least episode 260. And then by one day, bro, I'll be episode 560, you know? I'm never going to stop making those days.
All right. Well, Jake, you're a strong fella, yeah? You've been training hard this year.
Yeah.
Fucking hard, bro.
Yeah.
You're a mad cunt.
Yeah, he's sick cunt.
How you been feeling? Like, you find fulfillment in going to the gym?
Oh, well, I'll tell you exactly how I feel. I feel, when you're saying it now, I feel imposter because I'm not training right now. This week, I'm not training, obviously, at all.
Well, you're moving houses, so
yeah.
It's a fair point.
But it still doesn't take away any of that fucking guilt, you know, the guilt of not training. That feels like shit. I had a big chapter of at least 4 weeks this year in a row, maybe even 5. I think I pushed it to where I wasn't training at all. I was fucking sick. Every day that was I was so fucked.
I learned that throughout this year that I've been locked in and disciplined training day in and day out. I'm at the point now where I can eat whatever I want and I feel like I'm still cutting off weight. But, you know, one meal isn't going to affect the overall consistency that I've built. And, you know, one rest day, it's the same thing. One day off the gym, that's not going to make me any smaller. It's not going to make me any weaker. Take that rest day. I think self-care is just as important as hard training.
I think so too. But you know what I really enjoy about having like a week off? I might even push it, bro. It might be fucking like 8 days, 9 days. Who knows how long this little busy chapter's going to be.
You know, you got your, ups and downs, bro. Sometimes, you're in circumstances, life beats you down. Fair enough, bruv. But speaking of that,
Hang on, mate. Before we transition, I think that up and down is like, I want to get this out. When you do take, and I definitely notice this, when I do take 7 days off, 8 days off, the fucking next few days, the pump in the gym is better than the pump I've had for
Straight
months in a row,
Straight
bro.
out.
I get bigger. I get stronger. I can actually lift more weight. If I take a week off, I can throw up higher dumbbells. Like, I can have a mad time. But there must be something about it, bro. Like, rest really is important, you know?
very important.
They say you should take off a month. If you train for 12 months a year, you should take off one. They say if you train, you know
Not
what I mean?
like straight out in one.
Not in one hit, but you should have at least a month off, which is, no, it might be, the thing I was listening to lately was saying take off a month.
Well, who reckons that?
I heard it like last week or the week before.
Well, then they're not training hard enough.
No, they are training hard enough.
No, I don't reckon.
But I reckon based on how it feels to take a week off and feeling that coming back in, but you can't come back in for a little bit. You have to go back in for like 5 months, 6 months straight, and then take another month, take a week off, whatever. Seeing how that feels, I can't imagine taking a month off. Don't get lazy, don't get fat. Stay active.
Well, you see me training at the park recently. That is like taking a break from the gym.
Yeah. But that might be what it means. It might not mean do nothing. It might just mean like,
Go for a
obviously,
walk your dog.
Yeah. Be outside, be active.
But yeah, you got to live that active lifestyle regardless. You can't just rest. You know, you have to move. You have to stay consistent with your diet.
Yeah.
You know, they say it starts with motivation, then turns into discipline and turns into lifestyle. Once you have that lifestyle, you secure that, nothing's going to affect the way that you look because it's so aligned with your goals and your ambitions. If you're doing all the right things on a consistent basis, fuck it one day, bro. Don't worry about that.
What do you think of this? This just entered my mind as you were saying that. Do you think, because I've been trying to articulate this for a while, do you think motivation and discipline are the opposite feeling? I think they're the opposite feeling. Because hear me out, right? Motivation is the feeling of wanting to go. It's not the action of going. It's just the feeling of wanting to go. Oh, but discipline's the action. I guess that's the different thing.
You answered your own question.
I've been trying to find what I've been trying to find for at least a month now is what's the feeling of discipline? You know, what's that feeling of not wanting to go? Not not laziness, but you know how discipline has a feeling? I'm trying to find that word, bro.
I don't think it's a feeling, bro.
No, but discipline's an action off a feeling. Because if you want to go, say your gym routine is 7 days a week.
I don't think it's an action either.
It is.
Discipline.
Discipline.
Mm.
It's an action. It's doing.
Well, I think it's a state of existence.
But to exist is action. That's doing.
Yeah, but
what I'm saying is, like, if you go to the gym for 30 days straight, you could say that person's got discipline, right? But if they want to go to the gym every day,
okay,
that's not discipline.
Let me put it like this. If you go to the gym every day, you are not disciplined. Okay? You got to be disciplined in all aspects to be disciplined. You can't be disciplined in one thing and lacking on another thing. If you're disciplined in the gym, you have to be disciplined in home. You have to be making your bed in the morning, washing the dishes. You know? You got to be disciplined in all aspects, not just one thing. That's true discipline. It's a state of existence. It's not just in one thing. If you're going to the gym every day, that's just consistency.
Yeah. You're definitely right. However, you
That's
can
what I
use...
reckon. That's what I reckon.
Yeah, that is true discipline. That is what true discipline is. But you still can be disciplined in a thing. You can be disciplined in showing up to work every day on time.
Like, I don't want to train. Sometimes I can't be bothered, bro. But I do it. I have to. It's my duty. It's my responsibility to myself. And I feel like as human beings, bro, we owe it to ourselves to have the best human experience. The best. And that includes, you know, being in the best physical existence, living your best life, doing things that brings you fulfillment. And this is something that brings you fulfillment, 100%.
Yeah.
And that's why you've been so consistent with it. It's not an act of discipline. This is just lifestyle for you.
Yeah.
You love it.
I hear you.
This is fulfilling to you, so it's nothing. It's not work.
That answers my question, because my question was going to be to you, if you wanted to go to the gym every day and you wanted to do the dishes, you wanted to wake up early, you wanted to make your bed, you wanted to do all these things that you did to take discipline from in the gym to your lifestyle, if you wanted to do everything and you did it, is that discipline?
What?
If you wanted to do all the things that define someone who's disciplined, right? You know that he said, some days I don't want to go to the gym,
Yeah.
but you go anyway. What if every day you want to go to the gym? And then what if every day you want to make your
That's
bed?
motivation.
Yeah, that's motivation. So you can't really call someone disciplined when they're doing what they want to be doing all the time. So it's, for me, I'm not disciplined with the podcast. There's no discipline in me going to the gym. These things aren't discipline. These things are These things are more than motivation. These things are lifestyle. These are things I enjoy doing.
Well,
you know?
if you think long term, look at the bigger picture, you know, you're on an upwards trajectory. So you might be up for a week, you might be down for 2 days, bruv, but you're still on that upwards trajectory. So I think that's all that matters, that consistency. You can't be perfect every day, but you still show up.
Yeah, not every day is going to be a good day. Not every day is going to be a good day. Definitely not.
Well, what's the difference between a good day and a bad day?
Is this a hypothetical, rhetorical, or is this my
I don't
answer?
know. It's just what you reckon.
I would think, what's the difference between a good day and a bad day? I don't know the last time I had a bad day.
Exactly. It's attitude.
Yeah.
And you've got a fucking mad attitude, bro. Mad attitude to life, bro.
Thanks, bro. The other day, I did say, I was talking to this girl on FaceTime. I did say, I had a bad day, but I ended up having a great day. You know, maybe that's what a bad day is.
You're telling a woman you had a bad day.
Yeah, saying I was having a bad day, turned into a great day.
Okay.
Yeah, so it wasn't a bad day then, was it?
It was just another day.
Yeah, I think that was Monday. Yeah.
But how do you bounce back from a bad day like that?
Well, I guess I'd use that day as an example then when I refer to it. That was Monday. Monday, I was having a bad day, right? And I won't give out exactly why.
I'll
tell
say
you.
why, kind of. Like, I was going to come here and do the episode on Monday, but it didn't happen. You had to stay back at work.
Had to stay back at work,
That's
okay.
it.
So I was having a bad day for a circumstance that happened at work. It wasn't because I was working late, but it was a certain circumstance that happened at work, right? And that was making me have a bad day. However, in the moment, I thought of the bigger picture. I didn't react. I didn't fucking respond. I didn't do anything. I just actually bit my tongue. Chose to fucking accept the situation for what it is. And this is a situation that I can control by acting like a fuckwit, carrying on, kicking up a storm, using my ego. But this is also a situation that I can control by biting my tongue and honestly sucking ass at the end of the day, right?
That's good self-awareness.
Yeah, that is something that I had control over the whole thing, but I chose to control my overall picture and understand that the position I'm in is good. Let's not jeopardize what I've got, you know?
Yeah.
So then I think how I bounce back a lot of the time from having a bad day is I look at the bigger picture.
Sounds like you take a pause.
Yeah, but this pause might only be a second.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky because I think it has to do with having an imagination. In 1 second, I swear I could think of a decade. What's going to happen if I do this in this moment, you know? Some people might have that, some people might not. You know how some people they're willing to get in a fight with a friend, you know? They're obviously not thinking about a big picture. But how I bounce back from a bad day is I don't really focus on the day. I focus on the fucking life, you know? And I believe my life's going to be fucking fantastic. So if I can just focus on that aspect, who gives a fuck if it's a bad day, bad
So
moment?
you're having a bad day and you're just thinking, oh, okay, today is a bad day, but tomorrow is going to be better.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't even use all those fucking cliches, bro. Those cliches are great. Like, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a million variations of that. But no one's thinking that when they're having a bad day.
No.
You know what I mean? No one's thinking
when I'm
that.
having a rough time, I say rough time or a mad time. We love having a mad time.
Mad time.
We love having a mad time.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
always about having a mad time. You got to have a mad time, even if you're not having a mad time. You got to turn it into a mad time.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's the attitude, you know, difference between a good day and a bad day. But when I'm having a rough time, bro, I'm thinking, fuck this shit.
yeah,
Fuck
bro.
this shit, I've had enough. Fuck off. You know.
Yeah. Of
So,
course.
you know, I think you handle it well and you respond rather than reacting to the situation.
I think that's something that I've grown to get better at, definitely. I think that I was a bit more reactive when I was younger, definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
So the older I've gotten.
100%.
Yeah. but and to be honest, that doesn't just mean when it comes to having a bad time or rough time. That might be like, this is about to be a mad time. I won't react on the impulsivity of how fun this might seem, how dangerous this might be, how reckless this might be. You know, it's like I'm even able to in those moments sometimes be like, okay, yes, this is a mad time, but maybe let's not fuck with this. You know what I mean?
So it sounds to me like you're pretty well in control of your emotions. Do you think that's accurate?
I'm definitely. I don't know if that's the right way to articulate it, because I wouldn't say I'm in control of my emotions. My emotions are still felt,
Of course.
but I'm able to control how I respond based on my emotions. You know, like it might be a very simple one where it's like, let me just walk away and take a breath.
Yeah, that's
You know what I mean?
very mature.
Yeah, or if I'm fucking feeling it with a girl nowadays, like I might not even be quick to be like, bruh, she's the one. You know what I mean? Like I might feel like she's the one, but I'm not gonna act like she is. You know? Yeah. I think I've definitely gotten better at hiding my emotions rather than controlling my emotions. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
But you're getting better as you age and mature with your frame control.
That's a good one.
You're good at holding your frame and, you know, staying and maintaining a particular frame in a particular environment. You're doing well at that. Bro, I've seen you hold it down in many different frames, bro, and you wear your hats well, bro.
Sick cunt. Thank you, bro. Thank you. It's hard. Sometimes it's like I don't even notice it really. But I tell you when I notice it, at work. Bro, construction sites are fucking chaos, bro. Yesterday at work was one of the most chaotic days our company's ever had. I've never seen the boys get so angry at each other. Even me. Like, those times come up. Like, ready. Sometimes I'm looking at the boys, I'm thinking, you will punch on right now. You know, you will actually punch on right now. Like, it's crazy how quick some people are to react.
Yeah,
sometimes people are just joking. People don't hear people properly, and they're ready to fucking kill them. They're ready to kill them, bro. But here's a question then. Do you get road rage?
I feel it, but I don't really express it.
And how often would you say that comes up? That feeling that you just thought of per month, week, day? How often does that feeling come up where you say, I felt the road rage?
I feel like rage in a lot of things. I feel like, you know, like one of the things that keeps me going is hate. You know, like I hate going to work and working for somebody else. So I look for, you know, something alternative. I hate going to the gym. You know, I hate fucking eating on this diet, bro. I hate, you know, and the hate is just what pushes me. I get angry at it and motivates me to do it, you know? You feel like...
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Like it pisses you off.
Yeah.
Like you hate shit. Not like you're hateful as a person, but like you hate this shit.
You want to change.
You hate. So the hate kind of, you know, it's a good energy to use to get shit done.
It is a mad energy to use to get shit done, bro. Mad energy. Definitely. I think, to be honest, I might get... I swear it's a blessing and a curse, because sometimes I think to myself, like, bro, I hate this situation I'm in. But then I'll find the light in it, you know what I mean? And stay in it. Instead of looking for the way out. Instead of using that hate and transforming that into a new situation, I might sometimes feel that hate and transform that into a new feeling. And then I'm stuck comfortable again, you know what I mean?
Nah, you can't get too comfortable, bro.
Uncomfortable is good when you want to get out of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I often change uncomfortable to comfortable. They say, Kevin Hart says it, you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And I'm comfortable being uncomfortable, so I am always comfortable, never uncomfortable. But he's trying to say you should always be uncomfortable. Is any of that making sense?
I think what he's getting at is you should seek out the uncomfortable, find things that make you uncomfortable, do it, and grow stronger from it.
That is what he's saying.
Yeah.
But I get comfortable being uncomfortable, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Well, then you're not uncomfortable. You're just comfortable.
Yeah. So, but honestly, Deck, do you feel yourself getting that road rage? How often do you feel that feeling? Just on the road rage side.
I can't remember, bro. Like, it's not something that
It's not like every day you're thinking, fuck this guy, fuck this cunt.
Nah, well, I have this internal struggle, bro. I'm trying to balance the, like, peace, bro. I'm trying to stay at peace, bro. Trying to maintain that peace, bro.
I guess because you're always diet like this, like you're saying you're always in that rage mode anyway. Okay, I get ya.
So it's kind of like I'm trying to hold myself back from like losing my temper. Because I think, a bloke that loses his emotions, like gets too emotional and like, it's gay.
Yeah, it's also a ticking time bomb. It's gay's a perfect way to say it, but like they're heading towards a situation of self-sabotage. They're heading towards it. You know what I mean? A man who has no control over his emotions. Life will happen to him. It won't happen to life,
Yeah, straight
That's
up.
what will happen. It might be a decade from now, might be in a week from now. Eventually, letting your emotions control you will send you into a shit. You will put yourself in a shit position because of it,
100%. Because if you're feeling like that and you're thinking thoughts attached to that emotion, that's what's going to reflect in your, the outside world. It's going to reflect in how you're feeling internally. So if you're feeling like that emotional, things are triggering you and you're getting set off by so many things, you've got a problem.
Yeah.
You've got a fucking problem.
Yeah. And it will never stop. The world's never going to stop being with the world. Life's going to happen on life's terms.
Life's going to go on too.
Yeah.
With or without you, so.
And especially with or without your frustration, and this is what people don't, and this is why I bring up the road rage thing. So many people react and yell and scream at people on the road because I think they want to try and change the world around them. I think that's why people do it.
You know what I do, bro? Honest, I just turn the music down. I'm thinking, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah. Bro, I honestly, I don't know if I have been pissed off on the road since having my full license, bro, since I was a fucking P-plater. Because I just don't give a fuck. I'm not going to teach them a lesson. They're not going to teach me a lesson. They're doing what they're doing. Me.
What about when you're just cruising down the road and some kid kicks the ball across the road? You're like, fuck off, you fucking stupid
That's
cunt.
not what I think. I think if this kid runs out and I hit him, I'm fucked, I better not hit this kid. But yeah, bro, I don't know. Maybe I think it might be a bit of a practice thing from practicing not getting angry, practicing controlling my emotions, all that kind of thing. But it's very hard to fucking push me to that point of reaction. It is hard.
Well, think about, do you think it's masculine to get aggressive and to yell and to get angry?
Yes, I think it is masculine. I think it's necessary, but it depends why you're doing it. If you're doing it from a place of self-ego, then no. But I'll use work as an example, right? If you're in charge and someone has done something incorrectly, and you might tell them, hey, I need this done a certain way, and they've not listened to what you said, it's your responsibility as a man, right, to get stern, to let them know this is what I expect. It doesn't mean you need to insult, doesn't mean you need to belittle, it doesn't even mean you need to swear, but to use your masculinity, your aggression.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But like when you lose it at that person, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know if it's still masculine. It's still masculine energy. I think it's definitely masculine. Is it correct? No. But I think it's definitely a masculine trait. It's definitely not a feminine trait. If you see a female yelling and screaming, I fucking dated one for a very long time. Like, this bitch was masculine, bro. You know what I mean? She's telling cunts like, what's up, bro? She's trying to fight people, bro. That she was a man, bro. You know what I mean? She was a petite little girl, but that was a man, bro.
Fuck.
No, that's not it, bro. That ain't feminine energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you like to look into your Egyptian shit. You love that's your favorite topic to talk about, other than yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. That is.
What was that? What's the main religion that they? What was their religion?
I don't know what the religion was called, but they would study the Book of the Dead. Like, that was the book that pretty much had all of their mythos and culture and tradition, and that's the book that they would use to follow for thousands of years. And they, to be honest, there was enough copies of it, transcribed again, rewritten by all the kings and pharaohs, and everyone basically worshipped this Book of the Dead. What was the name of the religion?
We just
call it Egyptian mythology. That's all we know it to be.
But through your interest in that, what have you realized? What have you learnt?
Okay, I like that. This is very, very controversial, by the way, but this is straight up how I feel. Being someone who has completely, I wouldn't say completely, but definitely tried not his best. Being someone who's been interested in the path of Christianity for as long as I've been interested in it, adopting it, believing in Jesus Christ, praying as much as I can, reading the Bible as much as I can, right? Going to church every Sunday. A lot of, in my opinion, based on what I've learned about ancient Egypt, is very, very similar to the Christian values, and even the story of Jesus Christ. Okay, I think the story of Horus is very similar. I can't see much difference. The book of when the Bible talks about the world being created in 7 days and first there'd be light and all these things, all of that I read exactly the same stuff from ancient Egypt. They just use different words, and instead of being 7 days, this is not what it says. I'm using this as an example. There might be 7 families, and you know what I mean. But the god of Ra was the first god, which is the god of light. And on the first day that there be light. There was so many similarities, and it made me think like it. So that doesn't mean that what the Christians believe isn't true, and that doesn't mean what the Egyptians believe isn't true. That's telling me they're both right. I'm seeing the belief in the details, the terminology, the fucking definitions. I'm seeing those things to be stretched out over thousands of years now. We've lost the original meaning for these words.
So what if religion, right, is they're all just explaining the laws of the universe in a different perspective?
Of course. I think it would be silly to assume otherwise. The truth is there's something. The truth is, and that's because I believe it. All right. If you believe it, then the truth is there's something. You are what made it to be real. It's Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell stops existing when you stop believing in it. Okay, but Tinkerbell is real as long as you believe in it. All right. It's the belief in it that does make it real.
Was there a point in time that made you reflect and consider God, or was that just something that grew on you over time?
What a great question. I wouldn't say there's something that made me reflect and consider God. I would say the natural curiosity that I had led me to try it. The optimism and the lack of shame and judgment led me to talk about it and instill it into my life. And then the results I got from it are what made me believe it, At first you have to at least open your heart to the idea and pray. And then once you start fucking hearing responses and seeing it around you,
so
it became impossible.
At what point did it go from curiosity to faith?
I think I've always had faith my whole life.
Even when you didn't believe.
Even when I didn't believe, yeah. I've always had the faith. And I think maybe you're talking about the lack of doubt, to go from curiosity to almost proof in a way. Because faith being different. Faith is optimism, hope, dream. That's faith. I've always had faith. Whether I believed in God or not, I'm still going to fucking achieve everything I ever want, But it never went from curiosity to proof. It never will. It never went from curiosity to lack of doubt. It never will. You're always going to be a believer. You're always going to say, coincidence, or that's only because of this, or how do I know there's a God? You're always going to say this. You're never going to stop. That's just what choosing to believe means. It's a lifestyle.
Have you noticed any change since you've trying to be and doing all this by yourself to having God in your corner?
I'd say the biggest thing that goes away is anxiety, fear, doubt. Not doubt as in God, doubt as in your ability. You don't have to bear the problems anymore by yourself. Like you can just put it all on God. Any problem you have, it's not your problem anymore. It's God's problem. God will fix it. Doesn't mean you don't need to take actions. You don't need to take steps. You still need to work towards what you want, but you don't need to be working miserably in the pursuit anymore. That's the biggest one. It's nothing that can be held. It's nothing that's tangible. It's not a materialistic thing. It's not even something you can fucking draw. It's something that it's a weight off your shoulders. It's a light. It's an extra step. It's a better morning. It's a better night. It's a better day. It's always better, bro.
Sounds like a peace of mind.
Yeah, but that's peace of mind. If you could find a way to times it by infinity, it's more than peace of mind. It's nothing but gratitude all the time.
So, what does a relationship with God look like from your perspective?
From my perspective, it looks like something I don't have. I'd say I obviously have a relationship. I do my best to try and pray. When I do pray, especially if I go to church and pray, I do find that I get an idea in my head. Is there something I need to be working on? There's something I'm not focusing on enough, you know? A fucking brand new idea will hit me. I'll realize someone around me needs help. You know, for the first time, all these puzzle pieces start getting added together and I realize like, fuck, I was being a dick. I need to apologize for that, you know? And then because of that, life continues to get better, you know? What was the original question? You say, what does a relationship look like? I'd say when I think of a relationship with God, I think of all these great people before me that talk about, like online, especially podcast hosts, like George Janko. He's like and Jordan Peterson, not Jordan Peterson. Let's just say George. Is that his name? George Janko. Yeah. When I hear him talk about his relationship with God, I hear about God told me this, God showed me that, God did this, and I think like, man, like I want God to tell me that, I want God to show me this, I want God to do that, but I guess I just explained it without even realizing that God does do the exact same to me, you know? I guarantee people will be listening to what I just said, and even Christians themselves thinking, oh, God doesn't give me messages like that.
I think everybody's got a part to play at every moment in time, and it's all happening simultaneously, and there's signals everywhere for you to connect with, and, you know, God's always trying to tell you something. You know, think about back in the day when humans had to survive, right? They were reading the land. They were listening to the birds. You know, they listen to the surroundings. Like they're observant. You know, there's shit happening. You know, they'll know if there's a predator over there by the way that the birds are flying. You know, it's like there's always signs, and there's always been signs. You know, that was a matter of life and death. That self-awareness being out in nature as well, bro. If you think about it, everybody on their phone now, bro, they lost that sense of awareness to the surroundings, bro. And you're going to miss out on all these signals that God's telling you. You just look up from your phone when you're walking, bro. You know, you'll see a lot more.
Bro, it's like, you know what's crazy? It's like I was just talking about this on the episode that would have came out last week, so this hasn't come out yet in our time, but it's making me think as well, by being on our phones all the time, right? It's like maybe God is trying to talk to us in that regard too, you know?
Yeah,
maybe the
of course.
universe is, and it does. I'm sure we've all seen that motivating fucking gym video when we're going through a heartbreak, or every time something fucking happens in your life. It's almost like the algorithm knows it, bro. You know, it's like the universe is trying to tell us what we need to know for our phones, but it's so much. I think the one thing we really need if we want to learn to build a relationship with God, and I need to do it more myself, bro. Like, I can talk like someone who gets answers, gets questions, prays all the time, this and that. I implement this in my life less than I brush my teeth. You know, I brush my teeth twice a day. I don't fucking talk to God twice a day. Like, I think the number one thing is about asking questions. And as you said, when people were in nature in the past, they would have, think about how much time people would have had to lay down and look up at the stars when we had no light pollution. They would have asked the universe questions, even if it was in their own mind. That's still asking the questions to the universe. They would have said, what am I here for, you know? And then something would have happened, bro. It doesn't mean that in the moment they were told a voice, you are here to reproduce, you know what I mean? But by asking the questions, they actually started to find the answers. And that's what building a relationship with God looks like. It's discovering that it's all meant for us, you know? Building a relationship with God is learning the answers to every question you ever want to ask in the future, you know? And that's, I guess, that's how I see it, at least. It might not be that. That's just how it is to me.
Yeah, nice.
What about you? What do you think building a relationship with God looks like? And is it something that you try and do?
Oh, I think of more. You read that book I got you, Vagabond?
Yeah, I finished all the 4 of them, yeah. Yeah, I went to go buy more of them the other day. You're a fucking G. It was like $40 for one. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm not buying another one. You're a G, bro. It was like $38 something. I was like, what the fuck? I'm not buying a fucking another one. Fuck, I haven't got $40 on me. Yeah.
Bro, I was trying to get cash out the other day, and my fucking card got stuck in the ATM machine, bro.
Really?
My metal crypto card.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, what the fuck, bro? Like, I had to come back like hours later to get it once the fucking ATM people came.
Hmm.
I was like, fuck, bro. Like,
Lucky you were in the daytime.
yeah, it was on my
Yeah.
day off work, but
Wow, lucky
I'm
that
like,
wasn't
fucking
like...
hell, bro. Like,
that was like
how
7
am I
p.m.
gonna keep up with this shit, bro?
Fuck.
I don't got cash.
Nah, I ain't got cash either, bro.
I don't have fucking dollars either.
One of the boys at work said to me the other day, he goes, hey, bro, I reckon you can shout me this? I left my cash in the car. I said, use your phone. He goes, I pulled it all out. It's in cash. I was like, why? He said, cash is king, brother. I said, how can cash be king when I can use my phone to buy food right now and you can't? Like, how can cash be king? Cash ain't king.
Cash is king is the stupidest
It's
thing.
so dumb, bro. You know what king is? Apple Pay, brother. That's king. Apple Pay is king.
Mm.
You just fucking double click, leave your phone there, keep your conversation, wait for the ding, pick it back up again, bro. That's king.
Yeah, speaking of like holding your money in cash, it's a deflationary asset.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
That's just constantly going down in value, bruv.
$50 saying it's going to be less in 10 years than what it is now, you know, with everything. Right, the funniest thing ever was when we were at Macca's that time and I see this 15-year-old kid. No, he would have been less. When me and you were there, he goes, might have been like 12 or 13. He goes, $15 for nuggets? Gosh, inflation is real. It was the fucking funniest thing I've ever seen in my whole life. So fucking funny. Yeah, bro. Money's fucking... It's growing. Sometimes it's growing faster than us, isn't it?
Yeah, it fucking moves fast. What about a mortgage, right? So when people thinking they're going to buy their house, let's say they have to borrow $1 million, and they're paying $2.4 million, principal and interest.
Yeah.
And people fucking like, they didn't know that's what they signed up for.
Bruh, honestly, I just got out of it. Well, not just... When this episode comes out, I will have literally just been paid the money to get out of it. I got my money out, right? It's a big process, bro. You know, selling my home and going and living where I'm living now, it's actually fucking a little bit hard. I didn't realize that this is what people had to do. Just because you sell your home, you don't stop paying your mortgage. I'm still paying the mortgage now, even though I've sold the home. Someone else has signed for it. It's theirs.
So no, they got a new mortgage.
Yeah, they've got a mortgage now.
So they took out a mortgage from the bank. You took out a mortgage from the bank. You still have to pay that.
And they're now paying too,
Yeah.
right? They're still paying too. So the bank's making money off both of us. And now, because you have a date where you have to get out, it means you got to find a new place to get in. So you find the place to get in, and then you start paying rent on the next place, bro. You got to pay a mortgage and you got to fucking pay rent somewhere. It's fucked, bro. Oh my God. Literally all my fucking money is gone every week for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Every fucking dollar is gone to two things.
It's a bit of a trap, innit?
It's fucking crazy, bro.
You know,
there's no more money.
How they trick people as well with like rate cuts and shit. It attracts more people to spend money on a mortgage.
Especially money they don't have, bro.
Money they don't have and money they're going to have to pay back for however, long. And interest on top. A lot more than what they expected to be paying off. What about people thinking, oh, fuck, I can only afford a $750,000 house. They borrow the money for that. They're not paying $750,000, bro.
Bro, it's
More than double that.
It's crazy, right? When I heard, and to be honest, this is me being dumb. This is me being uneducated on it. When the idea of owning a property into my mind, you hear things like 7% interest, right? That means when I hear about you borrowing $1 million, you're paying them back $1,070,000. Right?
Yeah,
that's what my mind tells me. That's what my fucking mind thought.
No, that's every year. Or is that every month? I don't know.
So then if it was every month, then let's just say that.
Yeah.
That means if your monthly repayments on $1 million are $3,000 a month, which is what it would roughly be. No, $6,000 a month is what it would roughly be. $6,000, 7% of $6,000, what would that be? That would be like $50. Let's just say that. Roughly $50, wouldn't it? My maths might be really terrible with that. Let me just put that in my calculator.
But it's like a big circle. It goes in a circle, right? So people will borrow money from the bank.
Oh, it was closer to $500. It's around $420, right? $420. So I'm happy then. If you're borrowing that much money and your interest is per month now, 7%, that means it's $420. Even if that's interest on top of what you already need to borrow, that's fine. Okay, whatever. It's fucking not, bro. if you're paying back $6,000 a month, you're paying out of that $6,000 maybe $400 off your loan or something like that, bro. You know what I mean? Like maybe $800. $800 is coming off the money you borrowed. What's left? $5,200 in interest.
Yeah.
How the fuck is that 0.07%, bro? The fuck? How is that even 0.7%, bro? It doesn't make fucking sense. I don't understand. It's the biggest scam. It's fucked. I don't like it.
It's going in a cycle, bro. I was thinking about it today. So when people borrowing the money from the bank, they get their mortgage, whatever. The government's printing more money. The value of the house is going up. It's becoming more unaffordable. They cut rates. More people coming in, and it just keeps on going in the cycle.
Yep.
And it's not real.
It's not only not real, bro, it's not right.
It's not real. Like, all that money is not even real.
But the biggest problem is, bro, it's upsetting because I think as a society today, we've all pretty much accepted the fact that if we want to try and even push for a good paying job, it's still not going to set you up with an average life, you know? And that's setting yourself up. That's trying to push for $180,000 a year. With $180,000 a year, you've only just got enough money to try and own a home, if not pay rent in a suburb where there ain't people trying to break into your home, and you might be able to drive a nice car, you know, that you can replace every 6 to 8
dollars
years.
Dollars are just an IOU, bro. It's all debt. It's all borrowed.
No, because it doesn't work then when you go to work, they IOU before you even got the money. The money's now eliminating the IOU for the time you spent, because your time is the IOU. No, just the faith is the IOU. You know what I mean? But the money is now paying for what you've already done. They don't owe you anymore.
But that's having a job. I'm talking when you're borrowing money.
Oh, when you're borrowing money. Oh, bro, honestly, it's fucking crazy. I'm definitely not going to try and push anyone away from the idea of ever owning their first home. I think it's a great journey to go down. All right, it really is. Even if after fucking 3 years you lose money and you forget fucked whatever, you lose all your money, whatever. It's still a good journey to go down. It's a box ticked. Okay. However, for me, it was not my journey. I'm not gonna do it at the moment. One day in the future, I'll get back into it. But it's
not worth it at this point.
It seemed like a scam.
At this point, it's not worth it for you.
Nah, it just seems like a scam. Yeah. I don't trust it anymore. I don't trust. Very hard for me to trust what is right and wrong from people that came before me in terms of how I should live my life. You know? We got fucking lied to all through COVID from the people above us that were meant to be looking after our health. Now I'm meant to be fucking trusting the people who are meant to be looking after my money. Fuck, bro. Not happening, you know what I mean?
Bro, that COVID was like... The craziest part for me, thinking about it, was the amount of money they injected into the economy, bro. That fucking caused stocks, crypto, and fucking everything to boom, bro.
But it took the money out of people's pockets in a way, bro. Do you know, being a service technician, right? Back like I used to be, now I'm install. All refrigeration companies, all of them, were thriving because of the amount of restaurants, cafes, franchises, fast foods, storage, trucks. There was those endless things breaking all the time. And in our trade, it's a bit of a sad situation, but in refrigeration and even air conditioning equipment, they all have a very short lifespan. You know, they don't manufacture good quality shit anymore. Everything comes from countries designed to break, just so you can go buy another one in a couple of years' time. So every time we fix something, you just have to go for a circle and come back. And then your circle gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Everything stopped. There has not been a busy company on service since, because so many places shut down. And if they didn't shut down, no one's got money. No cafes are thriving. No restaurants are making profit because people don't have the liquid cash to go out and do shit anymore. People are cutting out coffees. People are cutting out juice. People are cutting out dining, you know what I mean? Like, people don't have money anymore. It's crazy, bro. It's not like it's each, and if anyone's listening, it's not like you're the only person feeling like you're going through this. Every single person is going through this. If it's not every individual person, it's definitely society as a whole, you know? But that's good news, bro. If I hear that no one has money, I'm like mad. That means when I get some, I get to be on top. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
I'm in a
it's
good
crazy that
position.
you say that because I've been watching the global M2 money supply. So that is liquid money in the economy. And in this cycle, which is 4-year cycles, it's actually at a fucking high, bruv. The liquid cash in the economy is at a high at the moment. And you're telling me nobody's got money?
Yeah, but that's because the gap between rich and poor is getting bigger and bigger exponentially. The top, you know how like they used to say 99% of people have 1%, 99% of people, 1% of people have 99% of the money. That's what people, they used to be what people say. 99% of the people have given their money to the 1%. Now it's the 99.9999% of people have given their money to the 0.00001%. You know, it's like they're getting richer. Look at the YouTubers. Look at the people that we grew up thinking, fuck, they got money. Look at the Logan Pauls, the Nelk Boys. Look at all these people. Look at the Dana Whites. They had money, but 10 years ago, we looked at them and we thought, fuck. Now, Dana White just sold fucking UFC for streaming service to Paramount for 7.7 billion. You know what I mean? He also owns Slap Bear and a jiu-jitsu comp, and now he's getting into boxing. That cunt's just... He's got everyone's money. He's got everyone's money. Logan Paul, who already had all the money. He had the mansions. He had this, he had that. Jake Paul, he had all the money. Now Jake Paul's got private jets. Logan Paul owns a $1 billion drink company. The Nelk Boys own Happy Dad. You know, and these are just 3 examples of people who have fucking 1,000x'd. The rich are getting richer, bro. That's where all the money is.
Yeah, right. But the rich get richer.
Way richer. It's crazy how rich they get, bro.
Yeah, but once you have money, it's easier to make money. They say the first 100,000 is the hardest to make.
Really?
That's what they say. And it's true. Because the first 100,000 that you make, think about it, if you're, let's say you're a startup, that's the first 100,000. It's hard because you still got to fucking source all the clients or the product, whatever. You got shit to do. You're not ready for the fucking big money yet. You got to level your way up. But even if you're just working and saving for the 100,000, you're grinding for it, bro.
I reckon my first 100,000 was the easiest to make. Ever since then, I've been broke. Because I bought a house. It's been hard ever since. Bro. The first 100,000 was easy. I just had to work more. Now it doesn't matter how much I work. I have a house.
Nah, it's gone now, bro.
Yeah, I know. In our time, not yet. I'm still paying for the cunt.
Yeah.
I've got less money again, bro. I just sold my house. I'm broke.
So wait, I'm confused, bro. You sold your house. We can cut this out, but you haven't gotten any money back.
You don't get the money. I can cut this back into the podcast. You don't get any money until the very last day. You've walked out of the house and you haven't got any more stuff in there. No furniture, no mess, no rubbish.
Right, so then you get that payout.
Yeah. Once you leave the house and everything's out.
That's Sunday.
Well, the time it has to be done by is Wednesday. I think it's my birthday. It is my birthday. The 26th of September is actually the day I get the money for the house.
How crazy is it that now you don't have to go through all this trouble, borrowing money from the bank and getting a mortgage on the blockchain, real token, through the XRP ledger. You can buy, if you have $70,000, you can buy $70,000 worth of the house. When it goes up in value, it goes up in value.
Oh, is that how people are tokenizing the real estate world?
Yeah.
They're separating the value of each
if
dollar of the house into token.
Let's say if fucking your $1 million house, you could get fucking 10 people putting $100,000 each as a portion of, and it gets broken down just like a Bitcoin gets broken down, you know?
But could I say, for example, own a house, say my house is valued at $1 million, could I tokenize that $1 million of a house and sell off 100,000 XRP or 100,000 tokens to someone, so they give me 100
of the house?
Yeah, of the house.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's a tradable asset. You can sell it.
And it's more than a tradable asset.
And you can buy more of it. Just like think about it now, a Bitcoin is $180,000 roughly. And you can buy 0.0001 of a Bitcoin. You do the same fucking thing with a house.
Bruv, I didn't know that. So that's a tokenized asset, meaning is something that you can now separate into smaller parts and portion out. Is that a tokenized asset?
Yeah, when you think about the NFT, it's a digital representation of ownership. And you can get that now for various things like properties and through the blockchain. But it's not. I don't think it's here yet in Australia, but you can still borrow money on the blockchain. You don't need to borrow money from the bank. You can take out a loan backed by the blockchain. You know, you can take out money against XRP. You can take out money against Bitcoin. So if you have $1 million in crypto, you can borrow $1 million of crypto.
And then you can also loan your $1 million.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like,
and then you can make interest on your million.
100%. Like I loan some of my crypto like 17%, bruv. And that's all right.
And that pays you some more.
Yeah, you know, it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
It's
don't
insane,
just go to
bruh.
work. It's lazy to just go to work.
Yeah.
Go to work with a higher purpose and do something at least that you find fulfillment. Like, do you feel fulfillment in your job, in your career? Because that wasn't something that you grew up wanting to do. You just got into it. It was the first thing that you found to escape from high school.
Yeah.
So do you find fulfillment in it now?
I do find lots of it. And then this is like kind of circling back to what we were talking about earlier. I was saying like I do find the comfort in what I would find uncomfortable, turn that into the new norm, you know? Like the hatred feeling, like you're thinking like, oh, I got to get out of this job. I find so many fine little things at work, bro. Like I was mentioning to you earlier when we were having dinner, there's a kid on work experience. He's this young spastic. He's 15. He doesn't know anything. He didn't know how to use a drill. Didn't know what fucking this was. Didn't know what that was. You know what I mean? He's retarded. He's just, however, I remember being like that. A lot of the fucking cunts, they'd think, oh, I was never like that. They fucking were. Everyone was, right? I love trying to explain something to him. I was trying to get him to weld today. He can't. He fucked it up so hard. It was never going to work. I knew he wasn't going to be able to do it. I was trying to explain to him, I do it, you do it, I do it, you do it. And then I hear him go, oh, he literally does that. Oh, I get it. Bro, that moment to me is fulfillment. That's passion. That's love. I find lots of fulfillment in what I do, bro. I love watching people figure shit out. I love looking back going, yeah, that looks good. I love going, fuck, I've got 8 hours to do this. I'm going to give it my best try and get it done.
That's awesome. Like when you're talking about failing, I think failure is a beautiful thing, bro. Don't you reckon?
Yeah, bro.
Failure is the best.
Yeah.
Like, bruv, if you had 50 failures until your next big win, how badly would you want to fail, bro?
Oh, non-stop.
Exactly.
Non-stop.
You just got to keep failing, you know? When I'm doing this Cali shit at the park, I fail, bro, so much.
Yeah.
I fucking stack it. I hurt myself. I can't do a lot of things. But then you see the clips.
Yeah.
And that isn't just fucking on the spot. That is a collection of failures over the course of many, many years. You know? People don't see the failures, but they see the big wins. The failures are important. They're very important. This is probably the most important part of the journey is to just keep failing and trying again. I failed at fucking the crypto shit, bruh. I fucking lost all my money, bruh.
Yeah, I remember.
I lost it all, bruh.
I know.
Well, I tried again.
Yeah, I know.
Tried again a few times.
Yeah, bro. It's fucking cool, bro. I do love it. So yeah, I do find fulfillment in it. I've failed every possible thing you can think of at work. Everything, every fucking thing, bro.
Bro, fuck, failure is awesome, bro. We failed in everything.
Yeah.
Failed in life, failed in
Failed
love.
in relationships.
Relationships, absolutely.
Friendships.
Jobs.
Bro, everything. I failed everything.
At the end of the day, bro, we're fucking like...
And you know what? We're fucking winners, bro.
Well, it's a fucking defeat. It's a mindset.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're willing to keep trying. We're willing to fight and carry on.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not an easy thing to do. Some people give up before trying, bro, to be honest. A lot of people, you see it everywhere. People fucking lose hope and they lose faith and they stop trying and they give up before they even fucking taken the first step. But they don't realise, bro, that the big wins, bro, is a collection of small steps, bro.
Well, I think the thing you're trying to describe is I don't know if necessarily people give up before they what do you say? They fail before trying.
They give up before trying.
They give up before trying, right? I think that what really happens to most people is they find success in what hasn't been achieved yet. So they stop doing what needs to be done in order to achieve the actual goal they wanted. Like most people say, I want to fucking lose this much weight. They fucking diet for a couple of weeks. They lose 2, 3, 4, 5 kilos. And then all of a sudden they fucking think, oh, look how well I've done. I deserve something. And then they fucking gain it all back on in another fucking week or two, you know? And it's because they haven't given up before trying. They've actually celebrated before being deserved. And I think that's what most people do. I think most people think, fuck yeah, I've saved up this much money. Let's go fucking spend a bit of it. And then it takes, they never get there. They never get to the money they wanted, bro, because they're rewarding themselves along the way. But like, that's what most people do in everything, you know, people, including myself. I'm 100% included in this. I'm not saying I'm better than anyone. Like people celebrate way too early. Bro, I'm telling you, it's easy for me to celebrate things like this clothing brand that I'm in the process of doing, right? I'll fucking get this big grand idea and a couple things come and a couple samples and I'm almost there and it's like, I feel so good and then I stop. It's like I've got enough dopamine. It's like the subconscious mind isn't doing the work anymore. So I'm not consciously acting on it.
Okay, but let's talk about the people who they're too insecure to step foot in the gym in the first place. They gave up there without trying. Think about the people, the men out there who don't have the confidence to approach a woman, so they give up without trying to get a woman. They give up on women without trying. People, fat people or insecure people, whatever, they give up on the gym before trying. Let's talk about that. That's different to celebrating victories before achieving them.
But do you reckon there realistically are people like that?
100%.
Like when I think about people that are too, let's use the girls for example, right? Too insecure. Is that what you use to say? Insecure to go up to the girl?
Yeah, think about like there's many.
I can imagine the type of person. I can imagine the dork looking cunt, right? I can imagine them.
The incel.
The incel. But everyone knows what it feels like. Every guy. It doesn't matter if you're fucking Zac Efron. That motherfucker's definitely had chances to talk to girls and he's bitched it, right? Every single person knows what that feels like. It's funny how Zac Efron's... I tried to think of an attractive guy. He's the first guy I could think of. I think the people who are not pursuing bitches...
Well, why are incels incels, bro? Why are incels incels?
I think incels are incels because it's not that they're too insecure. They have the same insecurities as everyone else. They have them. Everyone has them. I think they don't want it. I don't think that anyone wants to talk to girls and doesn't. I think as soon as you decide it's what I want, you go do it, you know?
I think for these people, it's too hard, bro.
It's not too hard. I think they think it's not worth it.
They're scared of rejection. They fear failure.
But everyone does that.
Yeah, but some people react differently and they blame women for it.
Okay, yeah. That's what incels. Yeah, okay. Incels do that. But I think everyone has a fear of failure. Everyone's scared of rejection. Some people just don't see it being worth it to push past that feeling. And that's why to me it sounds like, well, then they don't want it enough, you know? It's like, I think some people just genuinely don't have interest in fucking going to the gym. I don't think people are necessarily too scared to go to the gym and too insecure. And maybe I'm wrong. I just can't imagine that. To me, that's insane. You know what I mean? I can't imagine someone who's like, I fucking wish I could go to the gym and I can't, you know? I can't be that person. Do you reckon there's actually people out there that think, I fucking wish I could go to the gym, I'm just too insecure?
All right, we can beep out the names.
Yep.
You remember how insecure they were for the gym?
I don't remember, but if you say they were, I believe you.
And they had body dysmorphia.
Mm-hmm.
Their body was weirdly shaped. But now it makes... Because they had a hole in their chest, bruv.
Oh, I know a few people with that. I know a lot of people with that, yeah.
Now it looks like he's got a hectic chest, bro, because of that. So from that being his biggest insecurity, become his greatest strength. You seen his chest? It looks hectic.
It looks insane.
Exactly.
Every time it pops up, I show someone.
Yeah, but because it used to go inverted, bro. And so it was a big insecurity. And, you know, he always wanted to be that guy in the raves, whatever. Like, he's that now, but he was for a long time insecure to go to the gym.
Well, maybe. In my head though, I just think to myself, well, then they just don't want it enough. Does that make just don't want it?
Well, it's true in a sense. You don't want it enough. Like when you want something, you have to fucking want it. Like you want to breathe, bro. If you swum too deep and you fucking desperate to swim up real quick to get that breath of oxygen, bro.
Yeah.
That's how badly you gotta fucking want something. And you want something, like you have to have that energy and put that intensity into it. Like, oh, I fucking want to get the 6-pack. That's it.
I need.
Yeah.
Need.
Like fucking. If anybody's listening at home, like, you know, think about the people that listen to you and see you as their best friend, you know. Maybe they're listening right now and, you know, these people, bro, what would you say to somebody who lacks that self-confidence and even maybe lack of self-awareness to even identify the issues deep within, to bring themselves out of their shell and to achieve what they deem fulfilling and to find success in what they do?
Okay. I'll try and articulate this as best as I can. However, it's very hard for me to understand how these people feel. Very hard.
Of course.
Very hard. Because I don't feel like that, you know?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but you have had your own unique experience. Everybody's got their own unique experience, but people connect with you. People relate to you. And it's a good opportunity to express yourself, and people will just find a connection regardless of whether you connect to them or not. They'll find a connection.
Okay, well then I would assume that every single person has someone they can look at as inspiration, right? It could be the people you watch on YouTube. It could be Muhammad Ali, Andrew Tate, perfect
100%.
example. But I feel like a lot of people that look at Andrew Tate, I feel like a lot of people, they're already on that pursuit of betterment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's why people like Andrew Tate. If you don't like Andrew Tate, it's because you're not interested in self-improvement. That's how I believe.
But doesn't anyone watch Andrew Tate and just have a laugh?
Oh, yeah. How could you not?
It's just fucking funny.
How could you not? I think that everyone's got someone they can look up to. At least if it's not inspiration, you can look at and appreciate. You can admire them. You might have a coworker who is well put together. You might have a friend that's well spoken, or a friend that can pick up girls very easily, or you might have a family member, an uncle that you look at and you think, "Fuck, he's a cool uncle." You know what I mean? Everyone's got someone they know in their real life or on TV, whether they're alive or dead. People might look at the great things that Teddy Roosevelt done and think, yeah, I want to be like Teddy Roosevelt. If I could live a life like Jesus Christ, bro,
Absolutely.
I'm happy.
That's a perfect example.
You know, like we have a million examples of people that we know are success. Yeah. All right. As long as everyone knows that person that they're looking at is feeling exactly the same way they feel. They are experiencing the same thing. They all think they don't look as good as they want to look. They all think, they all look at someone else and think, I wish I was like him. You know, everyone looks at someone. Even Jesus Christ looked at God. You know what I mean? Everyone looks at someone. So as long as each individual person can understand, right, the people that I at least appreciate, if not want to be like, I'm exactly the same as that person. There's nothing different. Then at least I feel like they can at least start moving towards their goals, you know, in whatever it might be.
So are you saying to take on a character?
You don't have to take on a character. You just have to understand that the person that you look at and think, I want to use the example of I want to be like that person. If you can look at someone and think, I want to be like them, whether it be I want to have their money, I want to swing a golf club the way they swing it, you know, I want to be able to knock out someone as hard as Mike Tyson knocked someone out. As long as you know that there really isn't much different between you and that person, they're feeling the same things, then at least you can start moving in their direction. You just have to choose the hero's way instead of the coward. You both feel fear. They're running towards it, you're running away from it, you know? You both have a fucking spending problem. They're choosing not to spend, you're choosing to spend. You both have a drug problem. You're choosing to do drugs, they're not choosing to do drugs. Everyone wants to do the drugs, you know what I mean? Everyone wants to fucking get drunk on a Friday night. Everyone wants to do these things. Some people are choosing to do them and some people are choosing not.
That's right. You know, like sometimes I think I just want to have a cold beer.
Yeah.
I haven't had a beer since Christmas and I still want a cold beer.
Bruh.
I haven't had one.
It's starting to get hot, bro.
I know.
Canadian
I
Club
still haven't had one.
by the jug on tap.
It's been a while since I smoked a bit of marijuana.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think about it
Mm-hmm.
and think, fuck, I could go for some. I don't have it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you never stop wanting these things, but
It's always a long day, bro. It's always a long day. It'd always be good to have a bit of whiskey. You know what I mean? There's nothing better than a bit of whiskey.
bruh, rum,
Yeah.
fucking black spice rum,
Oh,
bit of cracking on the ice.
come on, bro.
Come on, cuz.
There's nothing better.
How mad was that, you know? Cracking on ice and a cigarette.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, bro.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
We're fucking talking about it like we love it, bro.
Because we do. You know what I mean? So that means if anyone that can look at us, if they find themselves to be stuck in the situation where it's like, yeah, but they don't understand. I really, really, really want to drink. That's why I do it. You know what I mean? I can't fight that feeling.
No
We
if,
wanna
buts,
drink
or
too.
maybes, only absolutes.
Yeah.
You know, I absolutely need this six-pack. So that means I need to get rid of the alcohol, the beers. Because I have one, I have too many, bro.
Yeah.
I get fat.
Yeah, bro. Of course. Of course. So I don't know if that's a roundabout way of answering your question, bro, but my advice to anyone who is looking to try and...
Let me touch on that real quick. You said find somebody that you want to replicate, something like that.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a good point to, as well, maybe after that, before that, to figure out who you want to be. Who do you want to be? What do you like? You know, what are your interests? You pursue something that feels good for you. You know, you might feel good painting, drawing something. You could always do something. You know, find your own passions. You don't need to be like somebody else. Just figure out who you are, what you desire, what you want, what you need. I think you just fucking, you know, look inside.
I think that there's a great quote that says, on the way to chasing your dreams, you get lost and you find a bigger one. All right? And I don't mean like just, and to touch on what you're saying, I don't mean just like look at someone else, see how they live and be like them. You don't have to be like them, but you might be inspired by the way someone else lives and start believing that you are that person, you know? You might not be Frank that you work with, but you know that you and Frank are two in the same. You feel the same thing. So you are Frank.
You
know what I
might
mean?
not be fucking Genghis Khan. He was a human being too.
Yeah, bro. That's a perfect way to say it.
Something like that,
That's
eh?
a perfect way to say it. Yeah. I like that. I like that.
So I wanted your audience to connect with you. That's what I wanted. So where did you grow up?
Okay, I grew up in Western Sydney in St. Mary's. That's where I spent pretty much my entire memory as being a child. I lived there for the longest time I've ever lived in any house in St. Mary's. And I had so much fun living there. So much fun. I had friends in every direction, every street, every turn, every corner. And I was me and my friends were those kids on our bikes, scooters, knocking on everyone's
Wouldn't
door.
it be nice to go and like re-link with these people and bring them on the podcast?
It would, but you'd be surprised. Like, I do have a lot of contact with a lot of the people. You know, I'd say almost everyone is at least in some way involved in my life. If not 100% of people, right? There was these kids around, lived on one corner. They were like, not my best mates. They were just friends that I had on the street. Every single kid in that family, there was 9 boys. They all started with the letter S. They were like, it was a fucking strange family. Then the friends that lived across the road
can you
from
recall
them.
any of them?
I could remember their names, but I'm not going to say their names. But I remember their names.
I can't even fucking... You said 9 with S?
Yeah, I don't know every 9.
I could probably think of 3.
Yeah, I only know the ones my age bracket, right? But then you had like the boys that lived across the road from them. And I remember the boys and I remember the girls that lived in that house too, the Tongans that lived over there. You know, around, it's like...
Were they you were the bad influence, right?
As a kid, I wasn't the bad influence as a kid, nah.
Do you remember the first time that you got into graffiti?
Yeah.
When was that?
I reckon I was like illegally doing it.
Yeah.
Like with a spray can.
Yeah.
Not just like being...
Or with a fucking postcard. I know you know you love your street art, bro.
Yeah. I'd say...
So Jack Doxie loves his street art. If you didn't know, now you know.
And to be honest, I'll tell you the crazy thing is, like, I never spent enough time to get good at it. I have neat enough
I always thought you
writing.
were mad at it, bro. To be honest, when I tried, when all you boys fucking giving it a go, I was shit.
Bro,
Oh,
I looked at me like I was shit. I looked at the way I never thought I was good at it because there was so many more inspirations above me. You know what I mean? This is like what I was trying to say earlier. It's like I never thought I was good at it. I think I had neat enough writing sometimes with a word that I'd practiced enough. You know what I mean? I was neat enough.
Yeah, but you had all the fucking bubble effects and the flames and all this and all that.
Yeah,
Fucking hell, bro.
that took a lot of practice, bro. You know what I mean?
So how old were you, bro?
First time I reckon I ever did any type of illegal spray paint, I probably would have been no older than 10. That's pretty early, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when did you...
One of my friends who lived around the corner, he spray painted out the front of my house. My mum called him. It was like we were walking down the street together. We left my house to his house, pulled out the spray can and tagged the street sign in front of my fucking house. My mum lost it. Fucking lost it. But you know what was cool as a kid, bro? My dad, he built a graffiti wall for us in our backyard when we were a kid. Like,
That's awesome.
it was so cool. It really was cool. Like, I can imagine the wall today, which is what's really fun. Like, and all
Would you do something like that for your podcast
100%.
studio?
Oh, bro, I'd love to. When I do get a warehouse, something like that.
Something like this, like...
Yeah.
But graffitis.
Yeah, bro. I always wanted to. This originally was going to be a wall that I was going to get graffitied. I chose to change it up a few times. That's what I ended up doing. But this wall that we had was really cool because not only was it something that we didn't have, we now had an excuse not to go out and do it. We obviously wanted to practice doing graffiti. We watched so many YouTube videos about it. The older fucking badder kids that were in high school that we used to look up to, they used to do it everywhere. Like, but as a kid, not only was it fun, it was a good idea for my dad to do it. It also brought a lot more life to our house. But I also had a lot of the older kids want to come over and spray paint on it as well, which was really nice too. Like a kid, but quite often there was kids that I thought, fuck, I didn't think he would usually want to be kicking it at my house, but
it's a healthy outlet, bro.
Pardon?
It's a healthy outlet.
It
having
was,
a
bro.
graffiti wall at the house.
And we're kids. We felt rebellious just doing it. You know what I mean? Even though it's in our backyard, bro. It's felt mad,
Do you remember your first cigarette?
Yeah. My first, fuck.
How old were you?
Nah, I don't remember my first. I remember one of my first. Nah, I don't even remember one of. I didn't smoke a cigarette until I was at least, though, 12.
That's still young.
Yeah, but that's like even a puff. You know what I mean?
What about your first joint? You remember that?
I didn't have a joint for a long time after smoking weed for the first time. I remember my first cone. I would have been 12 or 13. Yeah.
What about everything else? Was that like a young age or?
I remembered this week because I told a story about it. It was the first time I remembered it in a very long time. I was either 12 or 13. I definitely was not 14. I might have been late 12, early 13. I went to a party. It was the first time I'd smoked ever. I fucking Billy after Billy after Billy. These older cunts got me as stoned as possible. I fucking cried my eyes out, bro. I was so fucking scared. And that same weekend, because it was a big weekend, I took ecstasy as well. That was my first time doing either of them. And then I didn't even do...
How old were you?
Late 12, early 13. And then I didn't do caps. I didn't do ecstasy again for at least fucking 12 years, 10 years, 11 years. But I didn't do caps again for even any form of MDMA until I was like 19.
As a 12-year-old, how the fuck were you getting drugs, bro?
Well, it's like I was plus one by someone 14, he was plus one by someone 15, he was plus one by someone 16, you know what I mean? It just worked our way up. So it's like, eventually there's going to be the young spastics. And I think Luke Mount was a year younger than me, you know what I mean? He was there with me. And yeah, bro, it's how it worked. Like, you just get, not like, it's almost like an older brother, but it's like, everyone's got a friend that's a little bit older than them. So
you've contemplated being a father at some point. How would you feel about your children being exposed to those sort of things? Would you shelter them from that sort of life, or would you introduce it to them in a controlled environment?
It's a fucking very good question, bro. I have contemplated and yearned for the day to be a father for a fucking long time, bro. Very long time. Back in school, when we used to have to write down what do we want to be when I got older, I wrote down dad every single time. I always couldn't wait. today it's a strange feeling to be grateful that I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, that's a strange feeling, knowing that I always wanted to be. But it's almost like as soon as at least a little bit more self-awareness kicked in, and I guess you can call it maturity if you want, but I don't think I'm that mature. I'd say I'm a little bit mature. I'm going to take that back. I fucking started to be like, I'm not ready for this shit, you know? But I would never introduce drugs to my children.
Yeah.
My kids are never going to see me drink. I'm going to do my best to make sure my kids never see me drink. Especially drug. I don't care if it's smoke or anything. Like, mark my words, but I fucking hope my kids never in person see me vape or smoke a cigarette, you know? However, I hope to have such an honest relationship with my children that they would feel comfortable telling me when the people around them are experimenting with it, and at least they're feeling curious. And I'll ask them, how you feel about it? Do you think what he's doing is right or wrong? How do you feel about it? And I at least want to be able to instill a healthy way of thinking for themselves, bro. You know what I mean?
Don't touch drugs, you fuckwit.
Bro, if you yell at your kids and tell them don't do drugs, that's the first thing they're going to do, bro.
Yeah,
it's the first thing they're going to do. And if you fucking tell them it's okay to do drugs, it's the first thing they're going to do, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Yeah. That's, you know what, I just think maybe the first, if you tell your kids not to do drugs, it might be the first thing they ever do. But if you tell your kids it's okay to do drugs, it might be the only thing they ever do. You know, that's a very probable fact.
Well, I think you should introduce the idea of it young and just let them know some people do this and some people do this because this and some people get addicted to it because this, and explain it to them and make sure they know what exactly it is, what it does to you, the side effects, long-term effects, the pros and the cons. It's very important, I reckon.
At least, you know,
educate them on the matter. That's as far as you can take it, I think.
I think what might help as well is to let your kids learn from their own mistakes in real time, you know? Give them slight opportunities to realize that the effects of smoking dope fucking one time ain't going to make a difference on them. Smoking dope every fortnight when you and your mates get together and have a sesh ain't going to do much damage. But when they've been stoned for 3 days straight, and then on Monday they've got recital for whether it be sport, dancing, music, art, whatever it is that they have as something they enjoy doing, they can probably feel the facts that they're failing at it. They're not doing as well.
The crazy thing about bud is you can't be fucked, eh?
Doing nothing.
Yeah, well, I still went to the gym, but like...
But if you smoked, you're not motivated to go to the gym. You would be going to the gym so you'd smoke. That's a big difference. Does that make sense? It's not like you'd just be like, yeah, I want to have a sesh, and then you'd have a sesh. And while you're having a sesh, you'd think to yourself like, you know what I need to do right now? Hit a PB. I can't wait to go hit a PB. There's no way you'd think like that.
Nah.
You'd tell yourself, I want to hit a PB today.
You're definitely taking it easy.
Yeah.
When you're on bud. And like...
But you'd be going to the gym, stopping before you got there, having a sesh, then training. That's different to someone who's having a sesh.
But the thing is, like, it makes me reflect a lot. It makes me contemplate, but it doesn't lead to any action.
Makes you hesitate. Definitely makes you hesitate.
Straight out.
Yeah. It's definitely, bro, it's definitely a difficult question. I would not introduce it to him.
No, not introduce him, but like, let's say, kind of like, you know, you're 16 and your dad goes, yeah, you can have a beer.
I think I'd have to be in that situation to say it, bro, but I think if he wants to if my kid's going to go to a party and they fucking come back home pissed drunk at 14, I'm not gonna punish them, bro. I'm not gonna punish them. It is what they is, but
they might listen to this one day, bro.
But they'll never see me. Hopefully, you know, I'm gonna do my best to make sure they never see me drink. You know.
Oh, that comedy show we went to.
Yeah.
They were shit, except that those two people, right? Maybe three people. That first guy, he went in hard, bro.
Yeah, the guy talking about being a virgin and shit.
That took me by surprise.
Yeah.
Because I don't find most comedians funny. He was funny because he was making fun of himself.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
There should be more like that.
But
is there more like that?
All the time.
If there's people like that, take me, bro. Because that was funny.
Right.
That had me laughing more than any comedy I've ever seen, bro. Because he's teasing himself about being a virgin. You can't get chicks, bro. That's funny, bro.
There is a lot of things like that. But what we went to was like a low production comedy night. It's just local talent. People that have been working on jokes that haven't become famous. None of those people were famous, you know. But
This guy should be.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah, bro. Trust me. The shows that I go to.
I'd pay to see him for fucking 2 hours straight.
Bro,
Let him know.
The shows, let him know. Bro, the shows I go to, like, that was something because, like, Pat wanted to step out. I need to go out this weekend, you know? Bro, we've got to find something. Fuck, you could have told me this earlier. It's fucking Friday. You know what I mean? The fucking comedians, bro, that, like, I love seeing. When you watch them, you can tell they've been doing this for 20 years. Like, they're fucking funny, bro. Like, they're...
Have you laughed at a female comedian?
Yeah, one in
Because
particular
those
made
ones
me
that
laugh.
night, I just couldn't.
Bro, you know who the
Couldn't
fun...
laugh.
That night,
It
maybe,
wasn't
like,
funny.
to be honest, a couple of those girls, one of them, no. You know what I'm talking about, the mum girl. She was
That
not
mum
funny.
sense of humour.
The
Zach, bro.
The other one before that, she made me laugh like at least a couple of times at what she said. It was she'd said some ridiculous shit. She said a couple of things, but I watched this Indian mum in Queensland. She walked out, I think, cunt. There's no fucking way I'm about to watch an Indian woman, bro. She had an accent. She was like full Indian lady. She made me fucking laugh, bro. She was so funny. Because she'd make fun of her own people. She'd make fun of herself. She'd make fun of her husband. Like, but she'd also make fun of white people too. Like, it was so funny. That Indian lady made me laugh a lot, yeah.
Racist jokes are funny too, bro.
Of course.
Like, that dark humour is funny.
Yeah.
You know, has to be dark humour.
I'm watching, who's that dark humor guy? Have you seen those videos on Instagram where Jackson, you know who Jackson is? The guy, the Aussie? He used to make videos with Jackson and Shammy.
Yeah.
So Jackson has a series with this other guy, dark humor jokes, and they put water in their mouth and they'd tell each other jokes and they'd spit each other on, you know, have you seen those videos? They're like clips. They'll tell the most fucked up jokes. Like, for example, I might cut this a bit out of the pod. It's a bad joke. Like, what's the hardest thing about I'll do jokes like that, right? Whatever that cunt's name is from those clips, like that's the guy I'm seeing in a couple of weeks, and he's dark. If you want, I'll see if we can get another ticket next to where we're sitting. If you come to that, because I didn't buy it, so I'll ask them to buy another one. But bro, that'll be dark humor.
Do you see yourself ever doing a stand-up show?
I do. I literally see myself doing it, like envision it. I really do. I don't envision it going well.
What sort of jokes do you reckon you'd crack? You're gonna fucking walk up on stage? Oh wow, what a great audience!
Where are you from? Anyone in here have any crazy jobs?
What did the squirrel swim in his back?
What?
To keep his nuts dry. No. You would fucking say some
Definitely wouldn't say
stupid
that.
shit.
It would be self-incriminating. Like, I know what I look like. You know, I'd start the audience off by filling everyone's cup by, like, everyone's going to have prerequisite judgment of me as soon as I walk on stage. So I'd let them know, hey, you're right. You know what I mean? You know? I'd let them know. Then I'd tell them some stories to let them know that what they're thinking is accurate 100%. That'll break the tension a little bit.
Are there any low-key underground comedians that fucking dress mad lad?
Oh.
And, like, you know, saying shit along those lines of taking the piss out of lads? I reckon that would be a good angle to attack.
Well, that's exactly the type of personality I like to take on stage.
Yeah.
I don't know if there is
Doxie
any.
from TikTok.
Yeah. I don't know if there is any. Yeah. I've been to a couple of low-end comedian shows, bro. They've been. I went to see Frenchie once. Frenchie and Neil Carter-Shani, whatever his fucking name is.
Or something.
Yeah. They were fucking very funny. Yeah, there's good comedians out, bro. There's a million of them, but I do see myself doing it one day. I just know what I am funny like. My sense of humor isn't the sense of humor that would work on stage. You know, I'm honestly funny. I know I'm funny, but I'm not a comedian funny. I'm just able to make a quick witty thing in the moment. I'm able to word play on something. You know what I mean? I can't tell jokes like that, so I'd have to really, really fucking try. Really try. You know, and I guarantee the first time I go up, bro, I'm gonna just not be funny. It's not gonna be funny. You know? Yeah. But I'm excited for that feeling. I think that'll be a great feeling to experience, bro. Bombing in front of people on a stage.
Yeah,
I reckon that'd be a fucking once in a lifetime feeling that.
that'll be good.
Yeah.
That'll be a good clip, bro.
Character development that would be, bro.
That's outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah, bro. 100%.
Straight up.
I love talking, bro. I love being the center of attention in any scenario. I love it. Even fucking meetings on a Tuesday night. I let everyone know, like, I love talking. Like, I really do. I really do. However, I'm nervous as fuck. I'm pressure right now. I love everyone looking at me, but I fucking feel like hiding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I reckon stage would be a good place to experience it.
Well, I think you're pretty good at public speaking.
Thank you.
After seeing you at Pat and Luke's wedding, I was impressed.
Thank you.
I thought, wow, I didn't know Jake can articulate himself like that. Because when you speak on the podcast, you know, you are still saying like, yeah, brah, and like, fucking, you know, all these pause words, but you didn't use them. It was proper.
Yeah. Well, it's different strokes for different folks, you know.
100%.
Like, I have to fit the room, have to be a part of that environment. So if I'm at Lukey's wedding, like, the only joke I'll make will be at the very end when I say he's still a virgin. You know? But that's as heavy as I'm willing to go with it, you know?
Yeah.
If Pat's parents are there, like, I'll say, I've seen his dick, like, at least you're a lucky lady. You know what I mean? I can't stretch it too far, you know? No, that's as far as you can really go. On the podcast, you can say whatever you want.
Did you give them the disclaimer of some of the things you're going to say?
Nah. Definitely did not. But that's the interesting thing about public speaking, Brian. It's like you'd probably understand by even fucking doing Swapcast. It never goes the way you think it's going to go. Ever. You can never plan it.
Yeah, that's why I'm not even going on that last time I came, Monday, where I had it full structured out. I thought about it all day.
Yeah.
I mapped it out of the direction I wanted it to go. And I think I did all right. I thought I did fucking good.
Yeah, you did.
And this is nothing like that.
Yeah, it's not.
Nothing
However,
like
we still got.
We're just hanging out talking.
Yeah.
I'm not asking you enough.
Yeah, right. We can get back to him in a second. But however, I want to say on that note, for anyone who does like public speaking as well, like, if you remember, do you remember Pat practicing his wedding vows in front of us at the Airbnb before his wedding? Do you remember there was actually a part in it that was very, very sentimental, very sweet, and he spoke from the heart a lot, and he actually teared up saying it to us, and I said, "Can't, bro, if you make me cry, I swear to God, I'm not coming, bro." Like, don't, because he got upset, you know, because he meant what he was saying. When he said that at the wedding, it was a joke. Like, it was something that made everyone laugh, the way he toned it, the way he announced it, the way it came out, because like he'd already gotten it out once by crying in front of us. The second time it came out, it didn't come with hesitation. It came with certainty, and it ended up being funny, you know? And like, that's the fucking maddest part about public speaking, bro. That's the maddest part. You almost get up there, and as the guy speaking, you're going to be surprised at what you say, you know?
Bro, public speaking when I was young in school used to scare the shit out of me, bro.
Yeah. I hated it then, though.
Bro, I don't know what I was shaking for.
Yeah, I hated
Fuck
it then.
that.
But do you know, if you public spoke, I wouldn't think that you were scared up there. You know what I mean? I remember thinking, oh, Del can do this easily. Did you ever look at me and think, oh, he's shitting himself?
Nah.
I swear to God, bro. I thought every time, that's so embarrassing. I can't believe I looked like that up there. I'm such a little bitch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I felt...
But even like now, here on the podcast, I feel like eyes are on me, even though it's just cameras and it's just you and I speaking. I still feel like I can feel presence of people watching it.
Yeah, that's cool. I never feel
It's
that.
not cool.
I don't feel that.
It's not cool.
Yeah, but you articulated well. It's cool. Like, if you can still feel the presence of people watching and you can still speak as comfortable as you can speak, I think that's cool, bro.
But when I went to piss before this episode, I was just like, I took a moment and I'm thinking, oh, fuck, I'm going a bit like...
Yeah. I know that feeling,
so
though.
like, okay, there's people there. That's it.
Yeah.
But I've been trying to live recently that the cameras are always on. And we were speaking about this and we were talking that cameras are on 24/7. Look the part, act the part, walk the part, and be the part.
I think you also got to smell
always
the
on.
part.
Smell the part too, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't be smelling like you smelled today, bro.
Fuck, bro. Don't say that.
I'm just joking, bro. Just joking.
I hate it when people do that, bro.
I'm joking.
Now I'm going to be so insecure driving tomorrow after work.
Well, there have been
Oh.
some times at the gym, bro, when you're coming in your dirty workout fit. I'm thinking, I gotta hold my breath in the car or open the window.
Yeah.
Rough.
Bro, you gotta tell me more if I smell.
I tell you every time.
No, you tell me like days later. Don't tell me at the gym. Don't tell me at the gym. Tell me when we're leaving the gym and go, hey, bring a towel from now on. You know, like go have a shower.
I'll say on the way in the gym, I'll say, oh, let's go to the change rooms first and have a shower real quick, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, let's circle back a little bit. I know we've been going off topic a little bit, but.
So, you've had your fair share of lows, bruv. You've had your highs and your lows. Right?
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful contrast. The way I see you is you've felt the lowest of lows and you felt the highest of highs, yet you find that middle ground and live on that level of existence, bro, where you can manage highs and lows really fucking well. Really fucking well. Better than what I've seen in most people. So I want the audience to get a grasp on how the fuck can you navigate through the highs and lows with such efficiency, bro. But that's something that's always interested me about you.
Bro, you know what's crazy? It's like I don't look at myself like someone that can navigate the highs and lows, but it's like hearing you say you're someone who's experienced the lowest of lows and the highest of highs. Like I felt that. I definitely know what it feels like to feel what I thought at the time was the lowest of lows. And I guess sometimes they are things that stop people for a certain amount of time, you know, really.
100%. When people are at their low points, bro, they're fucking down, they're defeated, they're hopeless.
I think people might stay there for a long time, you know, which is
well,
different.
they stay there even longer when they're drinking and smoking.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think drinking and smoking did keep me at my lows for a bit longer. Realistically, they did, you know. If I was going to use the first example of the first time I really got my heart broken, right? Truthfully, I probably haven't never said this on the podcast before.
Okay,
but
this is the high school one?
Yeah, I bought a girl an engagement ring, you know what I mean? Told all my friends, told all my family, I'm about to propose. I'm
I
like
remember.
a month away or whatever. I don't remember how long away. It might have been a month, might have been a week, might have been 6 months, who knows?
Yeah.
But I fucking
You were
spent
there
all
how
my
long?
money on that,
How
bro.
long? You were 7 years?
I think we might have been together for 5 years at the time. From like 14 to 19.
And what was your idea and
What was my budget on the ring? No.
Nah, what was your expectations of a
My
relationship
expectations
at
was-
that point in your life?
I thought at that point in my life, going against what everyone told me, tradesmen, older people, family members, teachers, everyone always says the same thing. You know, you don't survive. Your relationship that you get in school isn't the first. It's not your last relationship. You know what I mean? Realistically, and I always thought I'm going to be the outlier to this equation. You know, I'll be the exception that makes the rule. You know, when that relationship ended, the way it ended, you know, I bought someone an engagement ring. I'm getting ready. I'm telling. I think I might have even told her dad that I was going to do it, bro. I know for a fact too. It had nothing. Her dad wouldn't have told her. He would have. He was actually excited. He would have been ready, and you know, we got along really well. When she decided, fuck, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. I'd rather chase, and I mean, I'd rather get with this older, richer cunt that's been chasing me. You know what I mean? Like, obviously at the time, bro, that was a fucking very heartbreaking thing to go through. It's funny looking back and reflecting on it. It's like the upsetting thing of that wasn't that I lost the girl. Yes, I was in love. Yes, I fucking felt these feelings. Yes, I would have happily stayed together with this person forever. But what I really lost is I knew this in the moment. I lost the story. I lost, damn, I'm not going to be the guy that stayed with his girlfriend from high school. And I lost a piece of myself in my dream. I didn't lose the girl. That's not something that I ever did, you know?
You were sold on the story.
I was sold on the story, you know, and to be honest, that was a very heartbreaking thing to go through. However,
It's hard, but when you have that whole expectation, you can see your whole future. You probably thought, I'm going to buy my first house with her. You're going to have children with her. You're going to fucking grow old with her. And then having that taken away from you, you would have felt in that moment that you lost everything.
100%, bro. I put a lot of my identity on being in that relationship, you know. That's who I was.
Did you learn from that mistake, attaching your identity to somebody else? Did you learn from that mistake, or did you make that mistake again and again?
Again and again.
Absolutely.
I've continued to fail until I get that right, bro. You know, no girl is ever going to change me. No heartbreak's ever going to stop me from being the person I am and wanting the things I want. You know, however, there are things I learned from that. You know, I'm not saying I fucking walked out of that oblivious and obnoxious, egotistical. I definitely noticed a lot of my flaws. First thing anyone does when they go through a fucking heartbreak, bro, is they realize, why did they leave? Probably because of this. So I had to start fixing them. I had to start working on them, you know. I fucking started training a little bit more. Don't get me wrong, started doing a lot more drugs, started drinking, started doing, you know, started fucking myself up.
A bit of escapism at
Bit
the
of
same
escapism,
time.
bro, you know, at the same time. But like, I really did change my mindset. I stopped limiting myself to the belief that this is going to be my income forever. This is most likely where I'm going to be living forever, you know. I stopped believing I was stuck inside of average. And I started thinking, right, average ain't going to keep the girl. I need to fucking be exceptional.
So you can't control a lot of things in life, but you can control the way that you think and the way that your mindset, you know, takes you. And it can carry you a lot of places, bro. Like your mindset, I think your mindset is fucking solid, bro.
Thank you.
Fucking solid, bro.
It can't.
Straight out.
It can't. But it's like, well, I don't understand what anyone else is going to do in that situation. Let's just say anyone goes through a breakup.
I think it's necessary.
But I don't think it's just necessary. I think, what else do you do? Like, if a girl leaves you...
But I think you needed that. Like, if you didn't have that, you didn't have your heart broken, you wouldn't be this, bro. You'd be a fucking soft cunt.
But you know what, bro? I would have been hard in other ways. Yeah, at that time when that happened, I was the heaviest I've ever weighed, strongest I've ever been. Don't get me wrong. I was on fucking a lot of steroids way too young.
But mentally, you'd crumble under pressure.
Maybe, maybe not. I believe it's a possibility. I wouldn't be as strong.
Like I was saying before, like you've experienced the lowest of lows and the highest of highs.
Yeah. I wouldn't be as resilient if that didn't happen. You're definitely right, actually. You're definitely right. However, even in the sense that I was 7 days a week, 10 sessions a week, training weights, eating, growing. I was the fucking balloon, bro. You remember what I looked like at the time? I was fucking running steroids. I was fucking running all this gear.
You didn't look good.
But it doesn't matter if I looked good or not. What that relationship...
Nah, you're big though.
Yeah,
you're big.
But it doesn't matter if I looked good or not. That's what I was interested in. Going through that breakup taught me...
That steroid look, bro.
Yeah. I wouldn't do it again. I didn't need to say that. I wouldn't do it again. But that's because I learned that from that breakup.
Yeah.
I learned pretty quickly after the reflection time of, why'd she leave? I spend too much time at the gym. I'm fucking poor. I'm young. I'm this. Of course, this is what I'm going to think, right?
Yeah, sure.
I actually realized in that moment, what would I rather? Be the biggest steroid abusing cunt that's probably not going to be able to have kids and is going to struggle and he's going to fucking spend all his money on protein and powder and supplements and, you know what I mean, spend 3 hours a day training just to be immobile. To be honest, bro, a couple of times my fucking dick didn't even get up, bro. I don't blame him for leaving. You know what I mean? But it's like, that relationship taught me, like, okay, would I rather have the girl or would I rather train and dedicate my entire existence to being as big as possible? And I chose not to be as big as possible. And I think it was an easy decision to make, you know? But there's been fucking countless of those, bro. Countless of those girls. Countless of those failures. Countless of those fucking tragic moments.
So you've learned a lot from your past relationships.
Yeah, bro. I think my last relationship, to touch on the fact, my last relationship taught me that, which was a very interesting one to learn. And I don't know if this is an obvious thing to most people or not, but to me it wasn't. I painted a picture in my mind having parents of my own that I really appreciate. I've grown up having great parents, you know, and I've always thought parents are good people, you know. You look at parents like they're good people, but you think, unfortunately, some people have bad parents. And you see that. You see that in the low economic situations, in households. You see that in drug-addicted families. You see that in abusive things. Like, you can easily spot a bad parent and you just assume most of them are good. So when I started into the dating pool of girls who are now mums, because I'm fucking mid-20s, like, I think naturally these are good women. You know what I mean? That was a fucking good lesson, bro. You know what I mean? Just because you have kids don't make you a good person, bro. You know? You can still be a fucking, I don't want to say a bad person. I'm not trying to say anyone's a bad person, but it doesn't make you doesn't make you a good person either.
Okay, so why were you interested in, there was something about it that fascinated you about dating a woman with a child. What fascinated you about that?
I think what fascinated me, all right, I'll go backwards a little bit. Once I'd been in the relationship, I found it fascinating that I was prepping myself for a long time to start getting into a relationship with a girl with a kid. And I didn't just mean to go on a couple of dates. I genuinely fell in love with a girl that had a kid already. And I genuinely grew to love her child as well. Like, not in a sense where I thought he was mine. He was not my kid. He was never my kid. He was never going to be my kid. I didn't love him like a parent. I loved him like a bit of responsibility. Someone that I'm going to help out, care for, look after. I don't want to say like a pet, but it's closer to being an older brother in a way, you know? But I realized after looking back at podcast episodes, whenever anyone mentioned stepkids or any of these things, I'm like,
You always had to throw your 2 cents in, bro.
tell me more, bro.
Yeah.
Let's go. How does that feel? What's that like? Tell me this, tell me that. And I thought to myself, fuck, I've kind of been prepping for this for fucking years, you know, realistically. I find it interesting that some people get into a relationship and they've already got kids. That was fascinating. I think what was a selling point on the relationship was, this is a girl, finally, that has some responsibility. You know what I mean? It's not my fucking job to be there all the time, hanging out, talking shit, watching movies, dinner every single night.
So you thought that she had a kid, she's past all that.
I thought she's busy, bro. I thought she doesn't need me. You know what I mean? I don't want a girl to feel like she can't be without me there. You know what I mean? I've been in enough relationships where we have to be together. She's fucking doing nothing if I'm not there. Not only doing nothing, miserable. She's miserable, bro. And then it's my fault when I come home that I'm home late and that. Bro, I thought, fuck yeah, this girl's got shit to do, bro. She's got a kid to look after. I'll show up when I want, bro. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, I'll show up with a fucking box of chocolates and a fucking bouquet of flowers, and I'll fucking and when the kid's not there, we'll do something fantastic together. Like, I'm not trying to say I'm a piece of shit. I'm just showing up for sex or anything like that. Like, I genuinely fell in love with this girl. However, I definitely learned a lot through that. Definitely learned a lot through that relationship, bro. Definitely. And what I learned a lot through that is that because in that relationship, she fell pregnant, all right? Don't know if I've said this on the podcast before. She fell pregnant in that relationship, and I learned a lot about myself really quickly that instantly I was willing to just give away all of my time, energy, and effort in order to try and make the possibility of me having a kid in the future, that kid's life, as great as possible. I would have 100% went in the wrong direction and went and fucking worked every day, every night, in every fucking city or state that gave me as much money as possible to send back home. And I would have not spent anything, you know what I mean? I put myself in that mindset. And that would have been fucking catastrophic. I would have ended up losing my missus, losing my kids. I would have lost everything if I did that. But there's a weird feeling, bro. Like, you need to fucking give, and you need to earn, and you need to fucking do when you're prepping to have a kid, bro. You know, and I got to unlock that feeling and put that in my pocket because it didn't end up happening. There was a fucking incident, you know what I mean? Yeah. So at least I know, all right, now I've got time. Let's chill and log in, you know what I mean? Yeah.
You picked yourself up pretty well from that setback.
Okay.
I'd say you kind of went off grid for a couple of days, but when you came back as if nothing happened at all. That's what I'm saying. You bounced back really well. Same thing. I'm talking same thing when Luke passed. You held it down, bro. And your best mate too. You held it down, bro. How?
Okay, well, in the incident that occurred from that relationship, as I said, she was pregnant, and I think we were 13 weeks. No, maybe we were. I think we were around 11 weeks, 12 weeks, and I
Into the
threw
pregnancy?
I asked everyone to come over into a pregnancy. Yeah, so we're like 3 months basically.
Yeah.
And I said, everyone come
What's
over.
the rule, bro? You don't expose
Don't tell
it.
anyone until 12 weeks, really.
Yeah,
you know?
you did it early.
Oh, only a week.
Well, don't they say that's bad luck?
It's not bad luck, but pregnancy is difficult. You don't know what the chances are. It's not superstition. It's that statistically, you're most like the first trimester out of the 3 trimesters, your first 3 months, there's so many complications that really can go wrong with a woman being pregnant that you don't count your eggs before they hatch, you know? You wait. You be patient. You pray. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, you try again. But it's usually a thing that you don't go telling everyone about it in 2 weeks into finding out you're pregnant. Guess what, everyone? You know what I mean? We're having a baby. You're not having a baby. You're 2 weeks pregnant. There's a big difference between being 8 weeks pregnant and having a baby. You start getting to 6 months pregnant, you're fucking getting close to having a baby. You know what I mean? First trimester is a whole different story. So at the end of the first trimester, I did. Hey, everyone, having another party. It's been a while. Everyone come over. I'll host dinner. Invite all my friends over. Then we started calling our families. Started telling everyone. Everyone found out. Fuck, Doxie's having a baby. Fuck, it's crazy. You know what I mean? Doxie and his partner are having a baby. However, once we told everyone, I think fucking maybe 10 days later, max, she had a miscarriage. I was in another state. Time I fucking came back to Sydney from literally having the miscarriage, grab my shit, drive back. That's literally the end of that relationship. She said, you weren't here, don't come back ever again. You know what I mean? And from that, there was no more conversation. There was just
Do you think
blocked.
that's fair? You think that's... Yeah, fair enough. You weren't there when she needed you. So do you think that's a valid response?
I think she is rightful to make any decision she wants to make, right? It's fair in a sense where she's able to make that decision, okay? Do I think it was appropriate? Do I think it was kind? Do I think it was...
Absolutely not.
Do I think it was... I've got to be honest, humane? No. Like, I don't think that is something that I needed to... I don't think it's something I deserved to feel responsible for, if that makes sense.
But you were making the sacrifice to provide for that situation.
I wasn't just making the sacrifice to provide for that situation. I was already, before I met her, in a lifestyle of doing that. I was already working nights and working interstate and going into that relationship. I hope I'm not feeling like I'm trying to defend this.
You did say, you're like, nah, fuck that. Like, I'm sick of it. You know, you got to do the podcast. You got to go to the gym. You didn't like the lifestyle. But you went back to it when you found out you were going to have the baby.
Well, it's like, I don't think it was fair to answer your question in the sense where I didn't think it was fair that I had to feel the blame. I think I definitely...
Do you feel like she put it on you a lot?
Yes, 100%. The entire reason she blocked me after that night was because I wasn't there for her when she needed me, you know? And I understand that I wasn't there when she needed me. It's not like I was choosing not to be there because of a selfish reason. I let her know before we started dating, this is what I do. That was my lifestyle for 2 years before we'd even met. You know what I mean? I don't think she should have done anything different than what she did. I'm glad in the end, I'm glad it all played out the way it played out. It definitely opened my eyes to a lot of the rose-colored glasses that you have when you're in love with someone. You don't see their flaws. You only see what's great. And if I'm going to be honest, I really do hope no one else has to go through what that felt like, though. Like, truthfully. The reason why I went off grid is, like, I fucking didn't sleep and I didn't eat for, like, 5 days, bro.
It sounds like so you've had your heart broken on numerous occasions.
Yeah.
Does it ever get better, or does it stay broken and you just got to learn new ways to deal with it?
I got a theory, right? I got a theory that you never really stop thinking about your ex until the next time you fall in love. And then that girl never existed. You know what I mean? Like, I really think that, and then the next time you fall in love, that one before that stops existing. And there's always like that trace of the last girl and the last trauma and the last thing, you know, like, I think that everyone's still caught up in, not caught up as in obsessing, but they're still thinking about that person from the past, you know? Even if it's like your job, your current job, you go to a new job, you're still going to be thinking about your last job. But then once you go to the next job, the first job stopped existing, you know what I mean? So I think the question, I kind of forget what you asked, was like, does it get better over time? And realistically, I can never be heartbroken from the same thing I've already experienced. No girl leaving me to be with a richer guy is going to break my heart. Like, that's never going to break my heart. It's been broken. You know what I mean? And that's not like a sad thing, like, oh, I'm fucking so heartbroken, no girl can hurt me. You know what I mean? It's like, I've healed from it. That's the important part. I had my heart broken and then it became stronger. I tore my muscles from training them and I fucking filled them up with protein and good food. It's not like I fucking went through my every single heartbreak and ignored it and fucking escaped from it. I've thought about it well and hard and true. So that I've repaired that thing, you know? I really have. So fucking I'm not going to get heartbroken from the same feeling. But I will be heartbroken from other things, you know? Like Luke, like you mentioned, Luke passing away. When Luke committed suicide, that broke my heart. 100% broke my heart. And what a broken heart typically is it's the feeling you haven't felt before. You know, you've broken it.
It's devastation.
It's devastation, bro. It's being exposed to a new level of sadness. That's what a broken heart is. And I think that's a little bit of a different scenario. However, in truth, I don't want to say no friend ever killing themselves again isn't going to break my heart, all right? But I think what has been repaired from Luke committing suicide is me being a better friend.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
The feelings that I felt in guilt, you know, it's not like we had an argument before he did it. It's not like fucking we weren't talking, you know what I mean? The guilt of having someone like that commit suicide is, what if I did more? What if I noticed the signs? What if I was a fucking better listener? What if, you know, the what if is what fucking gets you. I've tried to repair all that. So I am the type of person that listens more, tries to be a better friend. I am the type of person that looks for signs, you know. I don't need to blame myself and say, well, if only you fucking tried to look for signs. If it ever happens again, hopefully it doesn't. Let's fucking quickly touch that. Hopefully it doesn't. I don't need to feel like, well, fuck, you weren't trying, you know. At least I'm trying. So,
well, I think it's carried over. I noticed it made you a better friend, like you said. But I noticed it. I saw it, the effort you put in, and the way that you forgive people, maybe that you shouldn't have, all for the sake of friendship. Things like that, you know. I think it played a big part in character development for you in terms of becoming a better friend. And now you got people who would consider you a friend just from listening to you.
And to be honest, that's strange, eh? That's crazy.
You know, like, I think the things that you say is very important, and the things that you do is very important, and the way that people see you, it will impact people in ways you could probably never imagine, bro.
And I've said this before, bro, and I think I said it last time to you even as well. Luke has taught me more since he's passed away than he ever did while he was alive, and he taught me so much when he was alive. He taught me fucking so much of who I am today is because he fucking showed me how to be rebellious, you know? He wasn't a bad kid. but he didn't follow the rules either, you know. But in his passing, like I really have learned how to look for fucking people being upset, and I really have learned to look for signs. And
He knew how to have a good time.
yeah, bro. I remember one time. This is just who Luke was, right? I remember I was in that first relationship that we spoke about from school, and she wouldn't let me fucking smoke weed. She wouldn't let me do all this. And yeah, I remember one time he was smoking at the time because we started smoking. So this is years later. He says, bro, I didn't have a search. And I said, I can't, bro. My girlfriend won't let me. I'm sorry, bro. So I was just drinking. He was drinking, but he was also smoking. We might have been like 16 or something, right? And he's like, bro, just fucking smell how good this weed was, bro. And I fucking opened this bag. I took a big fucking smell of it. And I swear I felt stoned just from smelling it. Just from smelling it. And I'm like, fuck, got a little bit like lightheaded in a way. I was like, fuck, I wonder if this counts. And I just thought, fuck yeah, I may as well smoke. I'm already stoned, right? So anyway, so I get stoned, and now I'm starting to feel guilty. Like I'm saying, bruv, like starting to feel bad. Like my girlfriend told me I wouldn't. I promised her I wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like starting to feel guilty. And he sat me down. He says, listen to me. Whenever I'm in a situation that I feel bad about, and I know there's nothing I can do about it, I choose to ignore that feeling and have a fucking mad time. He's like, we're going to be stoned right now. It's too late. Why feel guilty? Feel guilty tomorrow. You may as well fucking have a mad time right now, you know?
That's so fucking gold, bro.
It was gold, bro, you know? And that subconsciously...
That's how... 16 years old?
He was 15.
He was 15.
I was
That
16.
is beyond his years, bro.
You know? He's right, bro, you know? And, like, that's so much of what we've been talking about for this podcast, you know? Realistically, like... That's how you turn a bad time into a mad time. There's nothing I could have done.
Do you wish you could have had an episode with him?
Every day, bro. All the time. You don't know how like much I look at the wall and think about future episodes for the wall and think like, fuck, Luke's name, you know what I mean? Like,
if you could think of one question that you'd want to ask him, what would you ask?
do you see yourself as valuable as you think I see you? That's what I would ask him. Because I think he would say no. But I think it would open his eyes a little bit too.
Yeah.
And if he said yes, I'd say, well, fuck you. You know what I mean? I'd say, fuck you. Yeah, bro.
Oh, fuck, bro. That was, like, rough, you know, like... When I got that news, bro, I couldn't believe it. I cried because I thought he was such a fucking, like, such a happy guy.
Because he always was, bro.
I know, bro. Like, how can you be the happiest guy and the fucking, what do you call it? The life of the party. He was always the life of the party. And then there's someone...
Wasn't he so confident too, eh?
Yep.
Like, he barely knew any of us when we were all together, but he was the one that was like, hey, Del, talk to me, bro. You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah, he was a good cunt, bro.
Oh, bro. He was the best.
So that's what, like, it got me. I just couldn't believe. I thought, how? Like, how did... What?
Yeah.
So I can only imagine, because he was your best mate. I only knew him for you, but it hit me, bro. So I can imagine.
Yeah, bro. It sucks. It sucks, you know. Death is inevitable, realistically, you know. There's nothing we can do, and the older we get, the more funerals we're going to have to go to, you know. As soon as we start to get closer to 50, bro, I think we'd be surprised that a funeral will pop up once a month.
Yeah.
As soon as we start to hit 60,
I think,
twice.
you know, like, do you think he executed a purpose? What do you think, if his life had a meaning and purpose, what do you think he accomplished that?
So this is a bit more of a spiritual question, more than anything. I think that we get to decide our own purpose. You know, I think we have our own freedom to be able to decide for ourselves what we are here for. So no, he didn't. He didn't fulfill his purpose. He wasn't here for what he was meant to be here for.
He didn't have enough time to figure out his purpose.
He didn't. He cut it off short, bro. Cut it off short. And that's the saddest thing. And to be honest, it's like, as I gotten older with it, it starts to feel less, it does feel less painful in my head knowing that I'll see him again, you know? If I want to pray or think about him or talk to him, it's like, motherfucker, you better be up there right now working out the maddest fucking shit to do, you know what I mean? Like, tell me how to break the rules when I get to heaven, you know what I mean? Like, show me, like, hey, bro, no one can see us over here, you know what I mean? Like, we can do whatever we want, bro, you know? Like, I feel comfortable knowing that, and I believe it, you know? It's not like a escapism thing. Like, it's it's faith, you know, more than anything. It really is faith. But yeah, bro, he fucking...
He'll come up to you, he'll say, try this sativa, bro. It's called Holy Spirit.
It's called Holy Spirit. Bro, I tried to say, where you get this from? You know, he's like, bro, I heard that like they snuck this up from the bottom. Yeah.
So where'd you get it from? Hell.
Yeah.
How'd you get there? Don't worry, cuz.
I know a guy. I'll introduce you. Yeah. And it's like we're only like 13, 14 in heaven years, and we've been +1, +1, +1 from the guns who got it from hell, bro, you know? Yeah, bro. But like, in truth, bro, like, it's so weird. I spoke about this with one of the other skate dogs as well. The skate dogs being the group of boys that Luke and I were in. And he said a similar thing to me where he's like, it's crazy that in his passing, like, I can learn so much and thank him for so much that he's teaching me, you know? And he feels very similar to the way I feel, where he's become more empathetic and he's become more of all these things. And that's like when you touched on the fact that I've forgiven people for things that I shouldn't have. And you said, you know, to keep friendships there. It wasn't to keep friendships there. You know, when I forgave that person who, you know, another ex-girlfriend from the past, when we broke up, I had a fucking really close mate start fucking her behind my back, you know?
Yeah, and you wanted to be mates with him again.
I didn't want to be mates
Not
with
like
him
that,
again.
but...
I didn't even want to be friends with him again. In fact, bro, when I met up with him finally after a long enough period of time and had a conversation with him, I told him, we are never going to be friends again, you know? Like, I'm calling you because I'm thinking about you, and I want to make sure you're fucking okay. Like, because when I fucking cut him out, bro, not going to say rightfully so, but everyone else did too. You know, no one wants to have a snake in their fucking chicken den. So when people find out that someone's willing to do that dirty shit, no one wants to really hang out with them, you know? And that's just the way it works. It really didn't have anything to do with me. This came from the fact that no one wants those kind of people around them. So I think when he entered my mind multiple times over a certain enough period of time, and I realised he hasn't got any friends anymore, and I hope he's not struggling. I called him.
I can't believe you didn't think, like, serves you right, dickhead.
It does serve him right.
You know?
I did think that. It does serve him right. He's just to what he got, but it doesn't mean that... I know what can come from bad thoughts, bro. I know what can come from isolation. I know what can come from enough time to think.
So it's...
And I don't want it to get to the last resort. Just because he fucked my missus doesn't mean he should kill himself. Like, I'm not that guy.
See, you do Jake wrong, he'll forgive you.
Not necessarily. It was on those circumstances I didn't kick his fucking teeth in. Like, you know what I mean? It's only because if I had have kicked his teeth in, that bitch won. That bitch controlled me. You know what I mean? Like, and I was never going to let her win. Let it go. All right, you found the dead wheat out of the group. Good. Good riddance.
She done you a favour.
She done us all a favour, bro. She fucking let us all win, that dumb cunt. You know, realistically, I hope she's doing well as well. But
Hey,
I couldn't react.
she was your favourite one, bruv.
She was not my favourite one. She was definitely my favourite one. They're all my favourite ones.
Or she's the one you care about the most.
She is the one I care about the most. She is the one I care about the most. Yeah, she is. However, what I'm saying is, like, what was the point I was trying to get at? I was trying to get at, you know, I couldn't react in that moment because that's what she was trying to make me do. If I had have reacted and I had a fucking, bro, you know how many ideas I had running through his house.
So I want to touch on that, okay? So I feel like this girl had a grip on your life to an extent. and she influenced a lot of decisions you made and actions you took and direction that you headed in. What caused you to go in a direction that is so against who you are today and against your moral standards? So what made you act out of line?
Can you please honestly just say it as truthfully as you need to say it? Like, give me the examples you're talking about.
Fucking
Selling drugs, driving around, being involved in trap houses and all that. Because I was also just getting out of that life for myself anyway. I wasn't sober yet. I was still fucking taking drugs when I could. I just had I felt like I had a little bit more control over my life. At least I was back to working again. You know what I mean? I was driving around again. I got to do all the things that you think make you responsible. So I wasn't aware that my habits were fucking ruining my life. But I still found it fun in a way, you know? I still enjoyed fucking meeting these crazy cunts that just got out of jail for fucking torturing people. I was still at an age where I thought that was cool, you know? It's not. It's really not. You're only going to end up in fucking 3 different places, a coffin, jail, or an institution if you fucking want to hang around those people. But I was a bit younger, you know what I mean? I was confused. I was lost. I didn't know. I didn't dream. I didn't see the benefit in trying to be better. I saw the fucking fun of sneaking around. Like, she definitely influenced it, but it was my choice to make that she wasn't responsible for. Like, if I was completely against it morally, I would have not done it. I would have not done it. Today, that's against my morals, bro. I don't agree with it. I don't think it's cool. I don't think it's fucking fun. I don't think driving around fucking selling drugs.
So how did you go from a life of such deep involvement with drugs and alcohol and getting up to no good to now? Because that people say sometimes that you can't change, right? But it's evidently so that you can change, because I can see it in you, because it's so deep ingrained. This no alcohol, no drugs shit, you know? It's so deep ingrained within you that I can't even imagine you taking drugs or having a drink.
Wow, you can't.
I can't.
Wow. That's crazy, eh? That's crazy that you can't.
So how did
because
that
I remember
shift?
when you couldn't. I remember when you couldn't believe. I remember when you couldn't believe that I wasn't gonna do drugs and drink. You know,
I thought it was bullshit.
like I remember. And you know what? This is a fucking sad thing I've never really said to anyone, but like, I remember whenever I made bets of when it was gonna fail, and they weren't very long. You know.
Yeah, 2
I don't
weeks,
blame anyone. I don't blame anyone.
Month.
Yeah, I don't blame anyone. Like, I fucking didn't.
But yeah, well, it's fair enough, you know. It was a joke. It wasn't a joke, but it was funny. It's just like, it was funny in the sense where somebody says, I'm going to stop vaping.
Yeah,
And they throw it out the window of the car, and then next minute, 15 minutes later, they fucking buy a new one.
Well, it's funny in a sense where it's like a guy falls in love every week, and for the 1000th week in a row, he goes, I'm done with girls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's funny. Like, no, you're not, can't, you know? Yeah. So what was your question? Like, how did you change?
So how did you 180 that? You rewired your brain, and I feel like because your identity was very much attached to that life, and now it's not. Now you're involved with gym culture, self-improvement, self-mastery, all these things. Was that like a flip the switch moment? Was it a slow burn
It's the power
of hate?
It's not the power of hate, bro, because I didn't hate my life. I didn't hate my life, bro.
You loved it too much.
I loved it. I thought it was fun. I thought I was fucking doing things other people weren't doing, you know. If we're going to play the status game, which most people do play, you know, even if it's subconsciously, I felt like I was doing things other people weren't doing, bro, you know, like. And I'm not trying to say I was the fucking biggest drug dealer in the world. I was some fucking young, dumb kid, truthfully, right?
Yeah. It's not a matter of if you get caught, it's a matter of when.
Yeah. I think if you just see enough examples of people around you all doing the same thing, there seems to be a common thread here, you know what I mean? Everyone's got a story of fucking getting hurt, hurting someone else, going to jail, dying. Bro, people were dying. That's another thing that's crazy. I understand Luke passing away was my biggest thing, but it's like I've met fucking a lot of people that were dying from drugs and shit. Like, even if it wasn't drugs, it was drugs related shit, driving under the influence and lots of things like that, right? Like, there became enough examples, and I think I always had at least a glimpse of the life I needed to live because I've always loved podcasting. I've always loved listening to successful people. No one successful tells you the stories about, oh, bro, tell me, how'd you get there? Drugs, alcohol, and hanging out with criminals, bro. You know, that's how I got there, you know. I got there by fucking living a weekly routine of self-sabotage and destruction, you know. I got there by fucking giving in to my fucking impulses every time. I got there by fucking not controlling my emotions. How did you achieve greatness? Oh, I got there by fucking limiting my fucking capacity in terms of how much money I was going to make. How'd you get there? I got there by staying in toxic relationships. I got there by staying in a broken heart. I got there by living in grief, you know? Like, I just listened to other people, bro. Eventually, I started listening. I started taking advice from people that I wanted to take advice from. Not from fucking teachers doing jobs I don't like, that I don't respect. Not from fucking older people that are fucking wearing a suit and tie, knocking on my door, telling me, bro, trust me, you could come join Jesus. Bro, you look like a fag. Don't tell me that, bro. I'm not going to listen to you. You know?
See,
but I met cool Christians, bro.
This is good because see how you found that in other people's podcasts and the guests that you listen to, that people are doing that for you now. So people can, you know, see you like that and they'll feel the same thing that you felt when you were listening to somebody else. So I think you should drop more gems, bro. Speak more from the heart.
It's a hard thing, bro. Imposter syndrome is the closest word we have to it, but it's like sometimes I don't feel credible.
It's not.
Sometimes I don't feel credible to drop
You're
education.
certified, bruv. You're certified.
I appreciate that, bro. And to be honest, coming from someone that I think certified in dropping gems, bro, that I might accept that. You know, like you are certified. So if you can pass that on, like maybe I'll start thinking of myself in that way. But bro, it just became obvious, bro. Like it just became obvious. I was very fortunate that I met some sick cunts along my journey that fucking got covered in tattoos, even fucking head tats and neck tats. After a certain age, bro, you get a couple head tats, you think, well, fuck.
Hey, I want to talk about that, bro. Tattoos, wish I didn't get them.
You're gay. You're gay, bro.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because it covers up the muscle definition, bro.
No.
No one told me that.
No. You got to get more muscle, bro.
No, you got to get
You're
bigger.
celebrating too early.
You got to get bigger.
No, you got to get more defined.
It covers the details, bro.
You just got to get bigger details, bro. You're celebrating too early.
I'm thinking if I had no tattoos, I'd see it a lot better.
Yeah, bro, but you got your tattoos. You look like a G with your tattoos, bro. You have mad tattoos. You have tattoos in mad spots. And you getting tattoos inspired me in a lot of ways to start getting more, bro.
I got tattoos because all the boys were getting tattoos.
Bro, you know, it's a healthy fucking addiction, bro.
It just went around, bro.
Of course it went around. But I remember on a fucking random day of the week, you'd be going, oh yeah, I'm going to go get tattooed by this girl. I might go get a tattoo today. I'm thinking, what cunt? I'm going to get a fucking tattoo, bro. What the hell? What are you getting a tattoo for? You know, that's mad. You know, I'm fucking planning my tattoos for weeks. You're waking up today getting a tattoo.
Because you get one tattoo and it just feels so incomplete without more.
Yeah. That's the best part of it, bro.
You see, you get your first tattoo and you're like, I look like shit because I don't have more.
Yeah.
So you need to get more.
Yeah, bro. It's the best part of it. It's like going to the gym, bro. You know? Like, I fell in love with fucking tattoos. Bro, it's like, I feel like you get tattoos in certain, not just tattoos. You do something to your physical appearance. You buy a new outfit and you think to yourself, like, a haircut would suit this outfit. You know, you get a fucking haircut, you start to feel fucking good. Nice fade. Not like what I've got now. Believe me, I'm not. What I've got now is a fucking temporary character, bro. You know what I mean? Like, let me just play this out for a little bit longer. But you start to feel a little bit better about yourself, you know? Tattoos do boost your confidence in certain ways. You want more. You start training because of it. You start to get a little bit confident. You look good, feel good, look better, feel better. You continue this cycle, bro, you know? Tattoos just add to that revolving cycle of confidence. Tattoos don't make me confident, but they're one of the pieces of the puzzle that keeps me wanting to try and be more confident. I get another mad tattoo. Oh, I'm happy with this leg. What's next? Maybe I'll straighten my teeth out. You know what I mean? My teeth were fucking weird before, bro. Now I'm trying to fix them.
I don't reckon. I reckon your teeth were normal.
Did you see the video I just put up today? I'll show you after.
I don't like that, bro. To be honest, I don't like that content where you're fucking taking the fucking retainer out and putting it in and shit. Oh, it's gross, bro.
I know, bro. It's part of the,
I don't like
it's
it.
part of the law. I'm gonna need it one day. You know, I'm gonna need it in 10
I
years'
think
time.
you can leave that part out of the journey,
Nah,
bro.
bro. It's part of the law. You need it.
You could have just had it one moment, your teeth were a little bit crooked, and next minute, fuck, it's straight.
There will be that video, but it's all part of the law, bro. I trust. Trailers. You gotta drop trailers. Anyway, what I'm saying is like, I think the idea was like we're getting some tattoos, bro. But it's like your tattoos have made your personality. You know, getting tattoos, you have to admit, when you start to get some, you start to feel a certain way at a certain age. Your first couple, they make you feel something. Do you remember
when
that
you're
feeling?
young, I don't know, like.
They do make you feel something, bro. They make you feel a little bit more grown up. Because what a tattoo, bro, is it's a ritual. You have to go through that pain. You have to force yourself not to quit. You can't look like a bitch in that studio. You have to act like it doesn't hurt. Tattoos hurt. They fucking hurt. Some don't. Nice little, sometimes an easy session.
Most of mine were alright, but the one on my stomach had me sweating, bro.
Yeah, bro. You know what I mean? But you sat through that. You went through a ritual from a boy to a man through that tattoo, bro.
Bullshit.
You know? You did, bro. You wanted to, every culture, this is something that I talk about in the last episode that you wouldn't have seen yet, but like every culture throughout history have had traditions that men went through from boy to man. Sometimes it's a physical journey they have to go on. Sometimes it's a fitness challenge. Sometimes, like the Aboriginal cultures, they send someone out into the bush and they make their way back. You know what I mean? It's like...
all the Spartans.
Yeah.
Send the fucking kid out there with a spear.
Yeah. In today's society and what we have in our first world fucking way of living, bro, like we don't have anything that initiates us. We have to do that shit to ourselves. And I feel like a really good thing that most people can relate to if they've gone through them is most people don't know what it's like to run further than they want to run. Most people don't know what it's like to work shifts long enough that they fucking almost passing out of being tired by the end of them. Most people don't know what these things feel like. Most people live pretty fucking cruisy lives. Tattoos are one of those things, bro, that you want to quit sometimes so fast into doing them.
I like what you said there, how you're saying you have to initiate yourself.
Yeah.
That's a lot of life these days, self-initiation. You can't really rely on anything or anyone to bring the shit out of you, bro. To bring that dog out of you, bro. You got to fucking find it yourself, bro.
You got to find it yourself. And, bro, it's like it's a maddest feeling, bro. Getting this leg 6 days in a row, bro, you don't know how much I fucking hated it. Like, oh, my God. Like, it was just torture. That week, I might not ever have a more painful week in my life. So when I fucking showed up this week to get my knee and my foot done on the same day, all the artists are going like, fuck, you really want to do both of them in the same day? Like, that's a big day. I thought, it ain't going to beat the week I had last time, you know? Like, let's fucking run it. Let's do it. Let's suffer today. It's going to be a good day, you know? Like, that's what I love about them, bro. It's like, it's a fucking initiation. It's growth. It's getting your heart broken. You know what I mean? Like,
what do you like to do when you're getting your tattoos? You watch podcasts?
Bro, I have to give a shout out to the last studio I went to. Nothing will ever beat the relationship that I built with Tez. Like, you met Tez. Fucking, he's a champion, bro. Like, the conversations that we have, if anyone enjoys getting deep, getting personal, learning, growing, like, Tez is a fucking fantastic lad. His studio's over there in Top Ride. Pretty in Ink is the name of Tez's studio, and he does all my fine detailed tattoos. Anything that I know needs to look detailed, he's the fucking guy for it. Shout out to him. But I went to this other guy, Axe the Kid. He has a studio in Newtown. Bro, this studio, if you're going to go do a big day, sleeves, you want to do all this shit, this guy built beds that are as big as like a single bed. You know how tattoo beds are uncomfortable shit? Yeah. This is a mattress, right, that you lay in. I had snacks, drinks, phones everywhere. Bro, I'm chilling. I'm laying up. I've got it elevated. I'm cruising. And he built them on these, you know, those desks that have the buttons that go up and down, standing desks. He built his own custom mattresses on those desks so he can just raise you up and raise you down and shit.
Wow.
And you can just chill, bro, all day. It was the maddest, bro. So shout out to him. I I do everything. I play my phone. I fucking listen to shit. I
Bit of Clash of
FaceTime.
Clans.
I even FaceTime people. Clash of Clans. I like talking to people on FaceTime. Yeah, I love a tattoo day. I've got one on Friday, and I've got one the next Friday as well, my birthday. So yeah, I'm fucking super keen.
Bro, how good were it back in the day where you're having a tattoo and you go for a cigarette break? That cigarette, when you're getting your tattoo, why does it hit different?
Because you're actually not just having a break, you're changing your chemical compound, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you've gone from fucking shooting adrenaline through your fucking brain to releasing dopamine, bro. You know what I mean? That was a good cigarette. Can of Coke.
That is
and
always a
smoke.
good cigarette.
Yeah.
The tattoo cigarettes.
Yeah, you're right.
It's almost probably better than that fucking big feed cigarette.
Yeah, way better. Way better.
That big feed cigarette. Or even the first morning cigarette.
Bro, what about did you ever have a post-flight cigarette? Oh my God, that was a good cigarette, bro. It actually wasn't. It was a bit shit. Airport cigarettes are always the worst cigarettes, but like, that's a good cigarette too, I can't lie. I like that one. What about post-sex cigarette, bro? Do you have one of those? Oh, bro, I've had like pretty much like to the second post-cigarette, like you're about to nut, you. That's a good cigarette too, bro.
Nah.
Tattoo studios today, bro, like the one I went to, bro, getting tattooed by vape, bro. Just fucking, fuck.
They allow that?
Yeah, it was the maddest. It was the maddest. Yeah. We're almost at the end, bro. Is there any other fucking things? Not quite there. It's a little bit more time, but.
Okay, so you always ask the guests at the end of the podcast when you've had them on for the first time that if somebody was struggling and you're going to give them some life advice, someone who's had gone through a tough time, they're not really getting what they want out of life, they're not having the best human experience possible, what advice would you give to somebody lacking in direction and purpose? Maybe somebody thinking about killing themselves, or somebody deep inside of a depression that they cannot escape from. What advice would you give?
My answer changes so often, right? Because I hear so many different good responses, bro, you know?
Yeah, that's why I reckon you know,
it changes a
you haven't said
lot.
yours.
It changes a lot. Like, it really does. So if you ask me again this same question, bro, in 20 more episodes, I promise it's going to be different. It's going to evolve over time. But I think one of the best pieces of advice I heard lately, right, which was I let them know I can't imagine how you're feeling right now, okay? And like, that goes against everything that I thought I knew to tell someone when they're going through a tough time. Bro, I fucking know how you feel, because the reason why I struggle with a lot of empathy, like that fucking person, the hypothetical person that fucking doesn't feel, I wish I could go to the gym, but I'm too insecure, right? Because I've never been that person. When I hear someone's acting like that, I think, the fuck's wrong with you? Like, just go, you know what I mean? When I hear about someone who's suffered, someone's committed suicide, when I hear about someone going through a heartbreak, when I hear about these things that I know I've felt, that's when I'm like, fuck, bro, I know how you feel. Like, let's just fucking get through this together, right? But I don't know how they feel. That's the truth. I don't want to, and like, I think that's a very important thing to let someone know. I can't understand how you're feeling right now, but I'm here for you, and I don't want you to feel like shit, all right? However long it takes, I'm willing to get through this with you, you know? If you want to fucking spend some time feeling like shit, living in it for a moment, I'll let you feel like that, bro, you know? But I want you to feel better, so let's get better together, you know? And I think that's generally how I would approach it if they were feeling depressed. And if the depression came from feeling lost, like they didn't know what they want to do, that's also something that I feel like I've felt before. But I wouldn't lean on that. I wouldn't say, oh, bro, I've been lost too. I'd let them know, bro, like, I'd say, bro, it's normal, you know? It's normal to feel lost. Like, I think everyone feels lost, you know? I think everyone's got a bit of an idea of where they want to go, what they want to do. But quite often people know what it feels like to want more and be like, fuck, am I not doing enough? What am I not doing? You know, how do I get out of my current situation? Everyone knows what it feels like. Not everyone has a plan. So my advice to someone, if they were feeling lost, would be, you don't need to know where you're going. You just need to start walking. You just got to start walking. I said it before. A good example, on your way to chasing your dream, you get lost and you find a bigger one. you know. I'd say to them, if all you do is trust me, you'll be fine. You don't have to listen to me, but just trust me. The things that are going to find your purpose is going to be going to the gym. If you can't stand going to the gym, start by going for a walk. Get some blood flow going. Get active. Get outside.
That's right.
You know? If you really love watching Netflix, if you really love playing video games, don't stop doing it. Let's just add a bit more things on top of it.
Use it as a reward system.
But even then, bro, I don't think I would tell someone who was lost to stop doing what they want. I would just say, let's keep doing what you want. As much video games as you're playing, keep playing them. If that's what you want to do, let's now make your life better. Let's keep doing what you want to do, and let's find better ways to feel while you're doing it. These better ways to feel, clean up your diet a little bit, you know? If you love ice cream, keep eating it. Have some fruit too. You know, if you love soft drink, keep drinking it. Have more water too, you know? Let's just keep adding more onto your life. Let's not take away some of the things, because I think a lot of the things that make us feel sad, we love, bro. You know, like drugs, like alcohol, like toxic girls, bro. You know, we love these things. We don't need to fucking tell people to eliminate the things that fucking make them feel good if they're already feeling like shit. We just need to start pushing them in the right direction, bro, you know?
Yeah, just take action.
Yeah, start reading a bit, you know? This is a really good book. I'll buy it for you. Give it a go, you know? This is a really good podcast. Listen to it. You might learn something, you know? You got to give people more when they're feeling lost, you know? You can't, I think most importantly, you can't tell them to change what they're doing, because change is hard, bro. Change is fucking hard. But it's very easy to start doing more, taking more, enjoying more. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know if that answers the question. I know
That's a pretty good answer.
there's a million ways that people answer it, bro. And that's why I love the question. Like, there is no right or wrong answer. There is no right or wrong answer.
I love Andrew Tate's answer to that question. Fucking get a 6-pack and then tell me how you feel.
Yeah. He's like, bro, if you're depressed and you want to kill yourself, okay, just get a 6-pack first.
And he says, I guarantee you won't want to kill yourself.
Yeah. That's so hectic, you know. That is so hectic, bro. He's a fucking G, Mr. Tate.
So, yeah, it's not weak to speak. You know, seek help if you have to. Speak to a professional or Jake or myself. Always happy to help out and listen and talk about things. Jake, he's already got experience in dealing with people, so you know he's always happy to take on more clients.
Yeah, bro.
he'll upsell you the course. Don't worry.
Yeah. It's only a 5-week course. Yeah.
But yeah, thank you everybody who made it to the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Before you wrap it up, bro. Before you wrap it up, like, I'm glad you mentioned the fact that, like, if you are feeling like shit, it is not weak to speak. And even on top of that, right? If anyone feels that responsibility, like someone else is in trouble, all right? You also might not know what to do. That is just as difficult of a situation to be in than if you are the person in trouble. Because if you are in trouble, believe me, people around you really, really are upset. They care for you right now and they want to be able to help, but they might not know how. You can also ask for help too. If you're in a position where someone around you is struggling, it's not weak to speak on that subject. You can ask your boss, you know, if you have that relationship.
Help.
You can ask for help to help. That's something that I'd never hear anyone saying.
I never thought about that either.
Yeah, I've never heard anyone say that, bro, but I know what it feels like. The fact that you can't help someone that doesn't want to help themselves, bro, is a fucking unfortunate situation. But there are ways to do it. And I'm fucking happy to I'm not going to drag the conversation out forever, but it's like, if you're ever in that situation, please reach out. I'll fucking talk to you as long as you want to talk about it. But you can help someone that doesn't want to help themselves. Yeah.
And you help people more than you realise as well.
Yeah.
Just by doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Set a good example.
Like you have, bro. I promise you on your pursuit of fucking becoming the best person you can be constantly pushes me to do more. Constantly. And it's not because I want to be better than you.
It's because you're going to owe me money, bro.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Believe me, I'm not. But it's not to do with money. And I don't just mean fucking getting a 6-pack, like the money thing. I mean, like, being outside, bro. When you're fucking taking your dog for a walk, when you're training at the park, when you're putting up Instagram videos of you cooking, bro, or you're training, or you're fucking investing money in the right things and fucking and speaking in the right ways and bro, you educate me all the time with what you say. You fucking have this Twitter where you're fucking like dropping gems, bro. I'm reading it. I'm like, bro, I've had an idea of fucking dropping gems, making a Twitter. Look, bro, I'm gonna do that too, bro. You know what I mean? Like you truly, you're right, bro. You can make a lot of difference in people's lives, bro. And it's like, I don't know if you know how much of a difference you make in my life.
Oh, no, I don't know.
I promise it's a lot, bro. It's a lot.
I never thought about it until like this week, bro. How much of an impact you make without realizing.
Yeah, yeah.
Just because I was training my mate and just seeing how much Mike Kelly inspired a little girl to get into gymnastics.
His
And I'm
daughter,
thinking,
yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I set an example I didn't even realize.
So, bro, like if you're someone that ever wants to fucking feel that feeling of inspiring people and having people like look at you and think, fuck yeah, and then do things for themselves because of you, all you got to do is be better, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, it's a lifelong journey, self-mastery. You know, in a world that's constantly trying to take your energy in the form of money and time and, you know, effort and things like that.
Love.
Things are going to drain you, but you just got to fucking build yourself up and become the strongest version of yourself to navigate and just to have the best human experience possible. You got this one life to live, so live it the best way that you can. And that includes things like being in the best shape that you can be, eating clean, you know, being happy. It's a choice. Well, there are circumstances unfortunate for a lot of people, but I do believe it's a mindset. Heaven and hell is definitely a mindset. And, you know, I see Jake it's somebody who's walked through hell and walked through heaven.
I appreciate that, bro. But it doesn't have to fucking happen. No one has to just change everything and become this guy. Like, it takes time. Like, I know your diet right now is really good, right? It's fucking great. You're locked in. Even, you know, even that chap, you did like 6 months without a carb, bro. You know what I mean? Like, that's fucking crazy. But even then, for anyone who hears that and sees that as a very far attainable goal, you got there after years of brick by brick, you know what I mean? You had been trying diets for a very long time. You know what it was like by doing 24-hour stints of this and 48-hour stints of this and week of this and month of this, you know?
Not eating food for 9 days.
Yeah, but even then, like,
that doesn't work.
It took you time to learn how to become this person, you know? Like, everything only happens by being 1% of 1% better. That's all you got to do. Just because you do 10 push-ups today doesn't mean you have to do 11 push-ups tomorrow.
I think
it means you have to do 11 push-ups one day.
Just keep getting things wrong and trying again and fail and trying again.
Yeah.
And that's the best that you can do. So, one big win. That's just small steps taken consistently.
Absolutely.
So, you start today.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, bro. I think this has been a fucking dope episode, eh?
You reckon?
Oh, bro, I've loved this, eh? I've loved this episode. It's been dope, bro. It's been dope. I appreciate you for letting me fucking get honest, bro. Like, you asked me good questions. Like, I haven't had the opportunity to be able to speak about a couple of things like that, you know? Like, I spoke briefly about things like Luke's passing, you know? It's, as a host, you don't really have the freedom in a way to take the spotlight off your guests and make it a little bit about you.
Yeah.
And
this
yeah,
is about you.
Opening up about some of the past relationships and troubles and things I've had in the past. It's like, they have made me who I am today, you know? And I'm not anywhere compared to where I want to be, but I'm getting there.
I see you as a man who's doing the right things to secure the future that you want. And you're going to get there because you actually planted the seeds at the right time. So it's going to grow. You're a good farmer.
No, you sick cunt. There's no better time to start planting seeds than today, bro. Luckily, I planted mine before.
Just judge the day based on the seeds which you planted, not the harvest that you reaped.
Yeah, I love that one. All right, bro. I'm fucking happy, bro. I can't think of enough quotes for me to write down after this episode now.
All right, we'll leave it at that, bro. All right, like and subscribe. Don't forget to follow Jake Doxie on Instagram and keep up to date with what's going on in his life. And yeah, fucking oath. Thank you for making it all the way to the end.
Yeah, you sick cunts. And as always, guys, the link for everyone who doesn't know is always there for Delvin's Instagram. It's always down below. Every guest that comes on, my Instagram's down below just in case you want to see more of me. And my guest is on, and believe me, Del's been posting a lot more stuff on Instagram lately. You're going to want to see what he's doing. But for everyone who made it to the end of the episode, it was an amazing week this week. There'll be another one next week. That's all right. Good work.
Yeah, I won't start, I ain't tripping, I'm a stunt.